Yo, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that midday show. Ram had me there. That is your girl at Dara in the, I don't know, what color is that?
It's salmon pink.
Salmon, there you go.
The coffee stain.
It's okay, it's okay. We don't have, we can pretend like we don't see that.
I just wanted to address it.
Oh, it's all good. I'm sure nobody noticed there. What is everybody up to in the chat? Happy Friday to everybody. We already got Darwin and Big Spile Burdette. We got FFTB and Brandon Townsend as well as Cass M and Girl Trader. Sure. The Piper Fiddleback, Solo, Christo, and Bora Hut joining us as well. What's up, Julia? We got Gorev, we got Chase Bands, we got Donnie Zimbabwe, and Picky Eater, Alaric B, Killer Cam, Yannick. Remember there was a guy in the chat called Yannick Sweater back in the day. It was hilarious. I don't know where he's been at. Yeah. B. Davis, 1320 Wolf, Oscarito, Musty Cheese. We got Leon Flores. We got Amelie, Scott Edwards, Noah, Don Keebles, and Matt Carnes. Everybody joining us today. Got a great show for you guys. Obviously, quad witching today. That will be on the closing show. Make sure, you know, that you're trading responsibly so you have that opportunity to get in on the more liquid time of day, Dara. Good morning.
We like the more liquid times of days over here. How are you this fine morning, Sharif?
Oh, I'd be all right. You know, it'll be Friday. I've got a baptism early, bright and early tomorrow, so gotta be up for that. Can't gallivant tonight, but I will be gallivanting tomorrow night.
That's good.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. How about yourself?
Hope it's a blessed occasion. Pun kind of intended, but also seriously, I hope it's a good baptism.
Thank you.
Also, yeah, so myself, I am alive. I am here. We tried to go long Tesla. I wanted to bounce off the 70s. It didn't bounce off 70s. We're trying to extricate ourselves here. May have extricated too early, but it's all good. We're just ready to go up, you know, to quote Aubrey Drake Graham, we don't get no awards for that. Trophies. So, because, you know, shout out to Obi and Sean for killing it over on that show. We're hopefully going to get some trophy winners ourselves here, though this Tesla long is clearly not one of them. But, you know, like I said, I think I sometimes need a setback in my trading to make me go harder. We got a coffee stain and we have a lost trade. What other setbacks could we get? Let's go market. I will take you in some direction if you give me opportunities. Tesla, I just want to know what to do because I think there's something brewing at this 9 EMA area, but just tell me what direction, Tesla. Let me know. I'm alive. How are you doing? Guys,
we know that there is static on the mic. The production team is all up on it right now. They're going to fix it. Just give us a second. We're not sure which person's mic it is, but we will get on it ASAP. Now, I want to mention I've got a couple of small cap gappers that I'm looking at right now, and one just came into the level that I like. That's at 75 penny level on AREB. The biggest name today in small cap gap world, 4.5 milli is the market cap, 153 points up on the day. The total shareage done today is about a quarter billion so far. The float on it is about 5.8 million shares. And let's find out the short float if we can. AREB, shout out to the NOS boss and his crew. A trade ID is negligible short float, 0.81. This one came into the level that I liked, which is the volume weighted average price. So we're likely going to get long here. It came into 76 pennies. I didn't have eyes on that. It's at 77 right now. So let's get long. The stop is going to be the break of 70 pennies. I'm looking for another move up, possibly into like 88. That's where it topped out last time. Maybe I need to be a bit more frugal with my goals. Maybe that dollar is the area. So we're going to put a stop at 69 pennies, and we're going to take everything out if it comes to 68. So 1 penny spread for this name. This is AREB, small cap gapper du jour, and has done plenty of volume. Let me just get you the what's it called? The headline on it today. It was an earnings winner. American Rebel signs distribution agreement with Dicello distributors for the state of Connecticut. Whatever, it's moving up on that news, and we'll see what we get here. So long at 77s, looking for that move back up and a VWAP hold. It has been making lower highs, so I am cognizant of this. That's why I'm going to give it a bit of a tight stop there. We'll risk 7 pennies, and we'll try to make 23. So that's a look there. That's not the only one that I'm looking at, though. There's a bunch of small cap gappers that have graced my side chart today. AREB, as I mentioned, chief among them. ICU looked to be a good candidate. That is, though, until the last minute or so when it broke down below the volume weighted average price. hanging out at 643. We'll have to see if that one can reclaim the level. CLOV, Clover, showing up. This one hasn't been on my trading screen in a hot minute, but one that I certainly remember. This is a $670 million market cap. The float on it is larger, 368 million shares. I do believe this is a heavily shorted name. I could be wrong. No, not bad, 10%, 9 1/3% of the float is short. The daily will likely be down into, I was gonna say down into the right, but it felt like, I hadn't seen this one on the small cap gapper list in a while, and that was probably because it was quite consolidated at that level. So keep eyes on CLOV. That's not the only one though. SRPT, certainly not a small cap gapper at VWAP right now at 167. Let's see if it holds that level. It's been kind of doing the support resistance dance with VWAP, a little bit above, a little bit below. And then last but certainly not least, MINM. This one was tradable under my breakout system for the small cap gappers. That is until it did break down below VWAP. Now I don't mind trading it, but it's going to be for a range trade. Now finding its footing at $4 with about a 4 1/4 top at VWAP. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Those are the small cap gappers that I have on the day. Obviously, we'll be keeping our eye on the Mag 7 as well as the chips because they're in vogue at the moment, Adair.
Yes, yeah. Good times there. Also, yeah, I want to address this. There's a coffee stain. I apologize. It happened literally moments before we went on. GUS Marseille, thanks for the Clove call out. Yeah, I mean, it's stock's moving, I'll mention it. So shout out there. Happy that I guess that stock seemed to be your 4-leaf clover. So great job there on that. I got short Tesla here at VWAP. You might be like, that's a decision, Adara. It is a decision, world. But I got involved because I noticed that we did dip below here. I said, Adara, I think this could be a short. I felt betterable. I thought in some direction, like I said, there was something brewing. And I think this short to me is a more interesting play. I think probably I'm playing it wrong. I should probably be taking the range like this 182.65 all the way down into 182.30s. But if we break above 182.70, I will be getting, or 70s, like, if we get into that area, I'll be getting out. Right now, though, Tesla has not given me that. I mean, it's giving me a little bit of stressla, but it hasn't given me the level I need to leave. So if I see another 182.60 rejection, we might add a couple shares to this pot. I don't think it's gonna be a pot of gold. Right now, it just looks like a big old rusty pot sitting on the stove that needs to be washed, but hopefully there's gonna be a little something here. Not to be a hopium, but I have no reason to leave, so I'm staying in. But right now, we do have a reason talk about the lesson of the day. Yeah,
so today's lesson is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be drawing on, a theoretical situation using this, using level 2 and some technical indicators. It's going to be in the context of a small cap gapper. So that's what we're going to do today. We're not just going to, give you all the technical signals. Look for this, look for that. We're going to play out a scenario. So let's do it. Today we're talking about combining the order book with other tools. Other tools, obviously, in this case, mean other technical tools. So traders, sharpen those tools, baby. Today we'll learn how to leverage level 2 market depth, the heartbeat of the market, alongside technical indicators to identify high probability entry and exit points for small cap stocks with news catalysts. So let's get right to that. So unveiling the breakout level 2 and volume. So imagine a small cap, biotech stock that shows up on your blotter. The company announces a positive clinical trial result, kind of like what we got today with, who was it? Gilead.
Gilead, yeah.
Thank you. The stock gaps up. That's not a small cap, though. The stock gaps up in the pre-market, and you're eyeing a potential long position. Level 2 analysis coupled with volume paints a vivid picture here. So let's talk about it. So the level 2, what you'll likely see in that case is a concentrated a concentrated cluster of buy orders that are sitting right below the current ask price. This high bid volume signifies buying pressure, so that right away if you start seeing those orders stacked on the bid at every little level, 1 penny increments, whatever, 2 penny increments, you kind of should have the idea that this one might be setting up. And then you look at the volume. The breakout from the gap accompanied by a surge in volume will help here confirm the strong buying conviction. So there's a support level. Let's just say like that $140 on CLOV. Let's just pull up that side chart here so I can kind of paint a picture. A $140 on CLOV, and then all of a sudden you get that $140 break, and the outlying volume is like, say maybe even higher than 1 3/4, but definitely higher than it has been in a while. Say 1020 was the last time we had a candle with over 1 million shares. All right. And so then you're looking here to confirm with your technicals, right? That's the move. So the moving average, what is the moving average showing here and which one are you using? So the stock price starts trading above its 50-day moving average, indicating to you an overall uptrend. Then you put the RSI on. You look at the RSI. Well, what's the RSI doing? Well, it's sitting below 70. So you know there's still a bit more room until you get into that oversold area above 80. So then you're like, okay, this is decent. This confluence of signals, right? A high bid volume on the level 2, a strong breakout volume through resistance and supportive technical indicators because it's trading above the 50 and the RSI isn't oversold. This all helps strengthen the case for a potential long entry near the breakout level. So then you're like, all right, this all looks really good, but what if there's a fake out? Okay, so I have to look for a second here because AREB is breaking down and I have my out through the break of 70. To be quite honest with you, I should be flattening out here because now it's broken down below VWAP. And if I'm taking a breakout trade on AREB, it shouldn't be below VWAP. So I'm flattening out here and I'll take a 3-penny loser. That's the way that's going to be. All right, moving back on to the lesson. So then you're like, all right, this looks very good. Everything's pointing in the right direction. What are the chances that I get a fake out? So another small cap company announces a new product launch, right? The stock jumps at the open, but caution is your middle name, of course. Here's how level 2 will help you identify the potential fake out. So you're looking at the level 2. The ask price sits on a thin layer of offers. All right. The lack of selling pressure here might suggest to you that the price increase isn't backed by strong resistance. So then you're like, okay, there doesn't seem to be too much in the way of sell orders on the ask. If this breaks through said level, I think this will squeeze, and that's a reasonable idea to have. But then you look at the order book. The order book dynamics paint a bit of a different picture. Suddenly, a large sell order appears just above the current price. Surprise, surprise. This could be a whale testing the waters or a sign of larger institutions taking profit. So you should kind of be looking for any big sell order to come in on top of that very thin line of sell orders. And remember, that's what kind of precipitated you to thinking, oh, well, this could break out. There's really no wall of sellers sitting on the ask. So confirmation with technicals in this particular case will be a little bit different. So in this case, you're going to look to the RSI first. So the RSI shoots towards the overbought zone and moves above 70 very quickly, indicating a potential rapid price reversal could be in the works. So this combination of level 2 signals with the thin volume offer, the large order placement that comes in above the ask, and an overbought RSI reading all help suggest to you that the price jump might be short-lived. You might want to consider waiting for a pullback entry in order to avoid what could be a bit of a bamboozling trade. And last but not least, these are a little bit advanced techniques for level 2 and order flow. So for more experienced traders, advanced tools can unlock even deeper insights. Here's a bit of an example. On the level 2, a stagnant order book with no significant changes despite a steady price increase. This calmness can be a little bit deceiving. Then you look for the order flow analysis on the tape, and it shows a continuous stream of small buy orders alongside a few large hidden orders, and then hidden buy orders, icebergs, start showing up on the bid. This seemingly flat level 2 hides actual buying on the tape. So if you're only looking at the book and you didn't have one eye on the tape as well, you would have missed that whole thing. So the order flow analysis in this case reveals the hidden institutional buying interest, potentially foreshadowing what could be a strong price move. And remember, guys, there's no golden rule here for combining level 2 with technicals. The key is to understand the interplay between the order book dynamics, the volume patterns, and the technical indicators that you use to help identify these more high probability setups in here.
Yeah, thank you so much for going over that there and putting it together the rest of the day. Yeah, it really shows like each aspect and each thing that we do as a lesson is only one step of a very complex little market puzzle, and you have to have all of the pieces to the market jigsaw puzzle for your trade to make it make sense. I'm happy though, finally I have a trade that's making sense. This is AMD short, so we're gonna take some profit out here, gonna take out 2/3 of this. I wanna talk about this because we made a mess of Tesla. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I still believe in the short on Tesla, and I think Tesla keeps doing this thing that's so tantalizing, which is why I got a little bit tilted, one may say. You know, I'm gonna take this long pop here because basically we kept bouncing at VWAP, but we kept getting a little bit lower here on the book. We got as low as 182.30s. So I kept thinking this was gonna be a short off the VWAP breakdown. Then I would give it to 183, it would get to 183, and then the second it gets there and I get out, it comes right back down. So it was just very deeply bamboozling. I can admit my issue was the entry, but like I said, I always feel a little bit, you know, inspired and ready for some change when I have stuff like that. You know, I'm starting with a man in the mirror. And I'm asking him to clean off that coffee stain and change his whiz. No, I'm joking, but yeah. AMD, I'm gonna stay in, right? Stay AMD. Took 25 pennies in the money profit already. I am aware we're getting a little bit of a VWAP bounce, but we have these lower highs, which is the impetus for getting in the trade in the first place. If we get above 161, oh, thank you. If we get to 161.30, I am, sorry, 40. I'm outie. Highest we've gotten since I've gotten in is 161.33s. This is the type of trade I need to be taking. Tesla, don't worry, I still have plans for you, but not irresponsible plans. I stand by the fact I kept trying to go with the Tesla because I kept seeing ideas I liked. I just should have tried to approach it differently. That's going to be the goal coming back in here. AMD, if you want to break more decisively below 161s, be my guest, to quote Beauty and the Beast. How are you doing?
Jeez, I just got into the goggles with the Kingdom is already in it. That's a fact there. We're long 27s. I'm looking to wet my beak at 43s. It's printing 45s. Where are you long, Katina, man? He doesn't want to disclose because he doesn't want me to feel bad, right? He saw that I'm long at 27s. He's long at the whole dollar, guys. 179 whole dollar there. Shout out to the Katina man. We're going to wet our beak at said area. Nice move up here for a 13 penny winner. Now we're 20 pennies in the money on goggles. All right, great move here on goggles, baby. Let's go, goggles. And we have a 179.78 double. Well, it could be a quadruple top, depending on how you're looking at that, because there's 4 5-minute candles that reject off that 179.78. 2 groups of candles, you could make the argument. So if we get up here and reject again, then you could say really it's a double top, or triple top, excuse me. Good move up for goggles. Look at the umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles which show buyer exuberance through 179. This was yelling buy me. Fantastic look here on goggles. We're going to wet our beak on some more profits here at 55s, and that's the end of the trade there. Great little quick scalp on goggles, baby. 25 penny winner there. We'll see what else we can get with this one. But yeah, goggles was yelling buy me below 179 vis-a-vis the bottoming tail candles.
Congrats to you. I'm happy. You didn't have to Google search for some profit there. You had your goggles on it. And yeah, shout out. I just want to shout out Sharif because that's an awesome look there.
Thank you,
I am out of AMD. AMD, yeah, there we go. I'm out of AMD. You know, someone was asking, Trader Life in the chat was asking why short AMD. For my purposes, I really just wanted to take the fact that we had these slightly lower highs in the 5-minute, right? I was open to get more than 161. I kind of realized we might not get that, so I decided to just scalp it into 161. I did add when I saw this lower high at 161.10, and I have no issue continuing to play around with this level. I have no qualms. I am qualmless. But I think we are actually continuing to lift higher here, maybe bouncing off the 90 MA. This was a bit of a chop and churn pattern, so I just want to be respectful of that. But I was not very respectful of Tesla. I still think Tesla's a short, though. Like, Tesla, if you want to get above 183 and prove me wrong, by all means. We had a move, though, above 183 into 183.30, and then Tesla acted like that was not a thing and continued to close even lower. That is a topping tail candle if I've ever seen one. I just need to be more patient with this short. I don't want this to be a revenge trade. I don't really feel any revenge towards Tesla. I know what my issues were with it, and now I think we're getting a bottoming tail candle, but I think there's something in the water here, and I would like to reel in that big old fish. Congrats on getting your Google trade, though.
Thank you.
What are you looking at right now?
I'm looking at Meta. It just made its way right back into the 10 exponential on the 5, and it has not been above the 10 exponential on a closing basis. Well, looks like it might break now. On a closing basis since the IB low. Okay, since basically we opened, the market opened. So Meta on the way now, touching the 20 as we come into break-even point on the NQ, and I'm going short Meta. So where am I going to get out on the short on Meta? Give me a sec here. 498 15s. 498 we'll go 15, and we'll cover the entire thing. We'll give it to 27, because what's life without whimsy? We're short 86, so we'll see if we can get a bit more down move here. On META, I'm probably going to cover 58. We'll put that beak wetter out there, and we'll see what we get. And we will not get upset. Shout out to Neil. I hope he recovers, obviously. And boom, as quickly as you like, we got 30 pennies there on Meta. Wow, that was nice. Right rejection off the 20 period, right down into 59s, covered there for a little bit. Let's go down. Now we're showing 43s, baby, on the bid. I want more. Let's go. Let's cover the remaining amount. We're going to go all the way down into the 30s here, see if we can get something at 38. Oops. There we go, 497. We'll put 38s out there, and we'll see what we get. A couple of another out or so on this one. We'll see what we get. So let's let that one cook and look at what else is moving over here. Yeah, Goggles is still doing its thing. Apple is very range-bound. And now I'm starting to see a bit of a range obviously develop here. To the high side, looks like that pivot point, the dotted green line, is factoring into today's trade 211.40. To the south side, it looks like VWAP is figuring at times over here 210.5. So if that range keeps playing over and over on Apple, we definitely want to get a little bit there with said name. And bang! Very happy with this trade on Meta. Covered the remaining amount. 2 quick trades there on Goggles and on Meta, both profitable. 1 long, 1 short Adair. I'm so not short Meta, by the way, guys. That's incorrect.
Congrats, though. Seriously, like
Yeah,
I was like, oh, we're gonna have a trophy day. You were like, oh, I don't. I was like, shout out to Sharif, killing on these trades. I do not have a trophy unless that trophy is for most questionable Tesla trades. No, I'm joking. No, you guys know I always stay positive. I'm ready to keep killing it, which is why I got back in Tesla. I want to explain this. When you have conviction. And I have conviction that Tesla will break down this 90 MA level, or sorry, this VWAP level, like, I don't know, like an axe to the door. I don't know, like maybe it's like in the shine. The point I'm trying to make is Tesla's going to break below this VWAP. I don't know that for sure, but I have conviction in it, so I owe it to myself to continue to, to commit to that. We have lower highs here on TSLA. We initially were wicking into 183. Now here we are, this 182.80. I don't have a large enough position for this. I intentionally took less shares because I was like, oh, well, we didn't do as well in the earlier trades in this. But yeah, there we go. Gonna scalp some back out. If we come back, give me another opportunity to add. I know I'm out of this position right now. I didn't take enough shares to begin with. If you come back to 40s and we reject, I'm gonna get this ready to go here at, let's do 40s. And 45s, we're going to start getting this position because I want to see what we do at VWAP here first. If we come right back up, obviously, this could flip to a long, but I think we are continuing to break a little bit lower here in Tesla. So I want to get, do the limbo here and get low with Tesla too. We couldn't get above 45s. That's right. Let's go back, Tesla. Let's go to the downside. This is what I mean by conviction. I have had a thing in the past where it's like you have some bad trades on stocks and then you feel like it's been tainted for you for the rest of the day. But if you have stuff you like, Sean talks a lot about conviction, and I think that's been like one of the keys since trading live, and I've noticed since going live, it is such more of a mental game. So part of the way to play that mental game is to believe in yourself. If we get to 60s, I'll add a little bit more here. I have a slightly larger position than I did in that initial breakdown. I think we have some more room.
I have a bit of an anecdotal story.
I love that. Is this the story you were hinting to earlier?
No, that's a segment on its own, Adara.
Sorry.
We're going to talk about Captain Protein in a second, but before I got into my previous career, I was doing some PT, personal training, right? Cool. And obviously PT, you have to sell packages. You just don't show up and like, hey, who's there to train today, right? Like, no, you got to sell packages. And the packages, as you know, can be quite costly. Run up to $100 a sesh, even sometimes more, right? Yeah. So when I was working at Good Life at the time, and the floor manager there, kind of very similar to what the floor manager here told me, and it really has to do with the C word, conviction. And the reason I brought it up, because you just said it. And I was sitting there selling $1,000 packages to people who I kind of felt bad. I'm like, oh, well, they're on a fixed amount of income, and this could be stretching them a little bit. And the guy told me, he's like, look, man, if my manager, he's like, look, unless you're gonna sell this believing that what you're gonna give them is really gonna help benefit them, you're always gonna come off as flaky and no one's gonna believe what you have to sell. You have to have conviction and belief in what you're selling. And when I came here and I started trading and I told the floor manager, Greg, he's not here anymore, the same thing, but in the trading context, he's like, you lacking conviction, my friend. So the conviction thing is like an ever-present theme in this whole thing. So I couldn't agree more with what you have to say.
Yeah, it's not the only thing, but it's a piece of it, right?
It's huge.
Yeah, so right now Tesla's doing a little bit of a waffling here at 182.70. Let's see if he can Lego that ego. And it did. I should have added there. I did not add. But Let's go Tesla. Break below that 182.40 again. I'm going to have a little bit of a, instead of a dip buy, a rip sell ready at 59s. Let's go. Like I said, still stand by this. And I think because I stand by it, I owe it to myself. I'd rather try this and lose. And to be clear, we've already lost a little bit, but it's manageable. I'd rather try something I really believe in and lose than not try and be like, what could have been? We keep having lower highs here. So let's keep going. Let's keep cracking. Don't love this bottoming tail bounce off view up, but we know we can break lower. In fact, we have broken lower. So let's get low here in or I almost said Apple because I was singing low, but yeah, no apple bottom jeans here. But Tesla, if you want to break that VWAP, boots with the fur, I would love that. Jeez. Shout out to Brad Gober. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Done. Made some coin today. Now take the fam to Splashway in the RV. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Brad Gober. Not sure where you made your coin, but let's take a look at Coinbase because when I first read your super chat, that's what I thought I was referring to. So let's see what kind of coin Coinbase is doing. Coinbase is down on the day. Coinbase lost some coin, but right now trying to base out a little bit here at that 223, slightly higher low on a wick basis. So let's see if this coin can recover. Shout out to you though, Brad Gober. Have fun at Splashaway. Hopefully you guys have a great day on that. And yeah, let's hopefully this Tesla, not hopium, but just, let's see if Tesla can crack a little bit lower. Thank you for that there, Trader Life. Yeah, I scalp, so I would not be taking it to 180.50 anyway, but I do appreciate that. There's definitely some support there. See you laughing at some super chats.
Big spile, Brad. I be slanging nothing, Big Kyle. Come on now. Thank you very much, Kyle, for the $2 super chat. Noah, $5 super chat. OG Noah, Thank y'all for teaching this teacher. May the super chat bring me better luck today. My stonks pick have been awful. Teach me the high profitable ways. I love the Elizabethan English over here. So shout out to you, Noah. We always appreciate you joining us today. And yeah, we'll definitely give you whatever we see as the good trade. So let's bring in the trusty side charts now and talk about some of the larger caps. We were spitting about the small caps. Now let's talk a little bit about these large caps. So Meta obviously sold that far too early. It is in an absolute state of tank. I got it at 486 and change. And look at it, guys. It just printed a new low of day, 495.56. It's flat bottom broke. This is what happened here.
Flat bottom break.
I just wanted to stay quiet because Ram doesn't like it when we stay quiet, so I was just trying to troll her.
That's funny.
Shout out to Ram.
Shout out to Remy.
Yeah, this flat bottom broke over here. There was umpteen amount of touches at that 496.5, and now we're well below that $1, and we're still going, guys. 495 incoming. The sell button is active on META at the moment. Quick glance at the side chart shows me that it's only Meta and the monster NVIDIA in Mag 7 world that's negative on the day. NVIDIA down 2%, but up almost 0.75% since the bell. Meta, no, doesn't get any better for Meta. Down 0.25% on the day and almost 1.5% since the bell. So it tells you that it opened green. So the tough look here for Meta and Amazon, but I would submit to you that Meta, probably a worse look, not Amazon, sorry, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a better look right now than Meta, especially with the higher lows and higher highs on the chart, bottom right-hand corner, and the Meta on your top left-hand corner over there. So we'll keep eyes on that. What else? Microsoft. Interesting look here on the soft one, double bottom off that 50 exponential, but I would have to say that it was unlikely to be the 50 exponential and rather this pre-market area consolidation top that seemed to have a buyer, 446.5 LOD right now, and that was touched 3 times since the bell. First at 9:50, double touch over here at 10:30, another double touch at 10 to the hour. So it looks like this one is also putting in higher lows, but also lower highs as well. So a bit of a tougher look there on Softy. Unsure how to trade that. Personally, I'm going to look to range trade these names here unless it's another Goggles entry, because Google is really the only one that's trending to the upside to me at the moment. The other ones look awfully rangy, or Meta obviously is a range to the bottom. So yeah, that's my look right now on these Mag 7 names. We'll look at some other stuff. What are you guys looking at? Put it in the chat, because if you don't put it in the chat, then you won't have something to vote for. Guys, make sure to join us every day between 2 to 2:30, and make sure that you're voting on the midday show for your favorite tickers. Use that prompt right there on your screen, but make sure to put a space between the word join, and the $sign there.
Yeah, much like how on like the ballots that you use when you're voting for political candidates, you have to fill it out a certain way.
Oh.
We're the same way here because we believe in a democratic system here at Trader TV Live. So let's see how that goes. Right now, I got out of the Tesla short. I was really proud. I got out at 182.14s, then I got back in because I noticed at the time we were pausing a little bit the tape here that 182.20, finding some resistance. If we keep finding that resistance, I'm pleased as punch. I love a 182 breakdown. Don't know if I'll get it, but right now I have no reason to leave, and I had the conviction to get back in, so I decided to get back in. We're going to have a peak water ready here at 182.04s. And then we're going to, if we break above 182.40s, that would be what I leave. But also, I want to take a look at this super chat. Thank you so much to Dominic Familaro for the $5 super chat. Darren Shreve, can you peep NXL pretty please? Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at NXL. Okay, nice. $25 million volume here. Let's get some more deets on this one. Nexalin Technology. What's going on with this guy? Here, Nexalin Technology. Are you seeing any news on this?
Sorry, what's the ticker?
NXL?
Sure, let me have a look. NXL. Let's see what's popping off. All right, so alert from Trade Ideas that it's breaking out on volume. That's the only thing from today. Nothing from yesterday either. Oh, here it is. Again, breaking out on volume.
Oh.
And then this one came in. NanoCap Nexalin Technology secures U.S. patent for stimulation device for Alzheimer's and dementia treatment. Can't tell you how much I love headlines like that. Just, hope they pan through.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the details on Nexalin. So Nexalin float here is 6.02 million shares, so not a particularly small float. Only 1% of that's going to be short, so not a significant short float either. The only level I'm seeing here in technical, and like I said, I find it kind of hard sometimes to trade these ones that are just up parabolically. We have clearly some resistance here at this 270 level. We wick up into it, then we reject it. And we're also finding some support around this 210. Look at this VWAP bounce here. Or I guess not 210, this is going to be like 215. We bounced here not once but twice on a wick basis. That being said, if we break below it, that could be a bit of a look. So I'd be watching that 215. On the daily chart, Nexalin, let's see. Okay, Nexalin on the daily, interesting too. We're coming into pretty massive resistance here in the daily. I would definitely be watching what we do here at 260 because that was a little bit of a false bull flag. This looked like a bull flag, but it broke down and not up. So I'd watch Nexalin on the daily around that 260 level. That's my take. Hope that helps you there, Dominic. Also just got peak water here on Tesla. Let's see what we do with the Resla. How are you doing?
Good. I just put NXL on the side chart.
Nice.
I think that's the first time you've brought a midday small cap gapper to my attention that actually made it on the side chart. So shout out, guys. 215, I love Dara's analysis with this. Double bottom off VWAP. That isn't by accident. Let's put it in over here so we can get the constant updates on NXL. There we go, 105% in the clear. We've done about 26.6 million shares on the day. The market cap inching into 17 million. It's fluctuating between high 16s and 17s right now. The float on said NXL, 5.7 million shares. And the short float, let's bring that Trade Ideas window in as we typically do. NXL. I don't want to say negligible, but it's 1% of the float is shorted, so nothing we really need to concern ourselves with too much. 215 is that line in the sand right now. I'd wait for this one to curl back up, or I try to get something off or near support being 215. So that's what we'll do. And we're going to load this bad boy up on the trading screen over here, NXL. All right, so I like this in and around. I'm gonna set something up. I can't talk today, I don't know why. At 17s.
Friday.
Yeah, it is. I'll just blame it on that. Actually, I don't like that level, to be honest with you, because that's below the area range. I'm gonna sit at 21s. So we're gonna go and we're gonna sit at 21s, a little bit south of where we are now. Frugality might get me in trouble, but when has it not? So we'll see. We'll see if we can get something there. I do like this now. The question is, where do we get out? So look, I put it at 20s. It's got a 72 HOD. That gives me at least 50 penny upside at its best right now. Okay, so we're long. I'm going to get out if it breaks 2. So we're long at 21s. It now behooves me to set up my beak wetter. Let's set it up in the 30s, and then let's set up the out as well. So 198. 198, and then we're gone Zeno. I'm going to give this one room, though, because it is a small cap gapper, and it could absolutely have an issue with liquidity. Stop is in place. Let's see if we can get our beak wet in the mid-30s. This is a VWAP play. So, you know, I've given it to $2, but quite frankly, if it breaks VWAP and starts trending down, Ram, I'm not going to hold on to it, right? Because and then there's really no point. This is a VWAP play on NXL.
I like that. Kyle Burdett tagging me here saying, did he say NXL or in excess? I hope that's a reference to the 80s band, so shout out to you if that is. They'll never tear us apart. Yeah, so I did get torn apart here from Tesla, but I didn't get torn apart by Tesla, and that's a win. I left the stock. Please just punch. I'm still down on this name, but I made back about like 60% of what I lost on it, and I'm only marginally down on the day now. Like, again, I don't think it should be good to start the day with an L, but I've noticed I trade better when I do.
I told you just gotta almost get shut down to start the show, and then you just like kill it from there.
That's not good advice, but I appreciate it.
I hope you actually don't.
No, I didn't do that intentionally with Tesla. I just think like I wasn't being scalpy enough with it. I'm not getting back involved right now though, because this 182, there's something weird about this 182. You know, to paraphrase something I once overheard someone say in line at a bank, I have a very strange magnetism. This Tesla has a very strange magnetism to this 182 level. So I want to see what this does here at 182. It took us a while to reject it. We ended up getting 10 pennies below. That's where I got out around 88. It's like 12 pennies. But right now we're holding it. I think we will reject La. So we're going to get back into Tesla's smaller position here. For that 181.99 area. I'm going to risk it back into this 182.20s. That is definitely the level that I like. That was the level I was playing around with earlier. Let's get back into this 180.199s. I stand by getting out there where I did, but I have no issues getting back in. And that's what, you know, I'm a scalper, so I want to scalp. That's what I'm trying to do. I have no read on anything else right now. I don't think I'm going to get what I want in Tesla. But, you know, you get what you get, La, and you don't get upset, La.
You should have punched long into NXL. Go up, NXL. We just wet our... Sorry, some guy in the chat is upset that we're saying wet our beak a lot. Yeah, just got long at 21s. Took profits at 33s, and now I'm waiting at 46s. There does seem to be an iceberg at 40. Here it is. Okay, so that broke 41s, 42s. Let's see, baby. 45s coming in. I'm going to flatten out here, and that's the end of the trade. And bang! We're going to spin the money one more time there, Dare. I'm having a good day. I'm having a good time.
You wet your beak.
Yeah, thank you for pointing this one out. This was, you could just tell by the bottoming tail candles that there was a lot of exuberance buying at the volume weighted average price. Bottoming tail candles are typically indicative of buyer exuberance. At least that's how I see them, and in this case it played out. So happy with this NXL trade. Small cap gapper du jour, but there's plenty of more upside, guys. Just because I got out at the 50s doesn't mean that this thing will not break HOD. HOD at the moment is that $0.75. It now behooves us to look at the levels that Adara was talking about earlier, because she was doing, and rightfully so, daily charting on this. And so where do we see the resistance? Well, I see a whole bunch of topping tail candles here that happened in late March, early April. Where is the aggregate of the top there? I would say the top is really at 250 with a couple of outlying candles that have closing prints north of 250. And that's this one day over here, April 2nd. Look at all the closing prints. This is not a closing print right there. That's an opening print and the closing prints right there. The closing prints are all in the high to mid 250s. That means this has had trouble on a closing basis breaking and holding above $2.50. It can break above $2.50 intraday, no problem. It's shown you its propensity to do that in April when it got all the way up into almost 3.5. It got into 340. But on a mean reversion, look for this one to weasel its way back into that $2.50. We'll see if that ends up happening this time. I got to tell you, though, the volume on today's candle overshadows all the volume we've done this year. And in fact, likely to date. So the volume we've done on NXL, has been the highest daily volume ever since going back to when this got onto the markets in September of 2022. So that could mean, you know, a bit of a different story. Right now, though, coming back into that 2, and change. So I'm very happy with my out there. And now I have to cancel all said orders because yesterday I kept getting triggered because of my stops because I'm dumb.
I am pleased as punch for you that you were able to get some profit there. Dominic, who had the super chat, is saying you're welcome because you were saying thank you there. So Dominic was also saying, oh, Derek, you should have gotten involved. That is not my type of trade, but I do really want to shout out Sharif for killing it. And that's what I think is great. Like, you know, with the desks, Sean and Neil trade differently. Sean and Obi, or Neil and Obi, or whoever they're with, they trade differently. You and I trade differently. So it gives you like a little bit of a different perspective. Also, yeah, thank you, Kyle Burdett, for the super chat. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. We give Big Kyle a decent
leeway.
Yeah, a lot of leeway around for Big Kyle because he's a good dude. I like Big Kyle. So shout out to him. Yeah, co-investments, peak wedding addiction. I swear, there's no addiction. It's just we're just having fun, guys. That's all we're doing. We got to talk for 3 hours, right? So don't forget that.
It's more time than you think it will be. When you start talking, you're like.
Yeah, no, it's legitimately. Yeah. All right, quickly looking here. Oh, here we go. So, I got to tell you, I'm happy I didn't take the 495 long on Meta. Because I got to tell you, when it started trending at this 495, I'm like, this looks like a good entry at this level. That would have got stopped out in plenty because it dipped all the way into 493.80. Alas, it is weaseling its way back into 495 with a very clear candle of indecision. Look at this doji candle with almost non-existent body showing you at the bottom of a downtrend. If this candle here followed by a very bullish candle to close on the 5-minute look, I'm taking this long. I'll take it long to about 496.5. That is the consolidation area bottom. This assumes that this candle here, the 5-minute candle we're currently on, closes with enough room for me to weasel my way into 496.5. So if we get enough room here with this candle closing, I'm going to punch long Meta for, again, a range trade back into 496.5. We'll see if that comes in or not. Whoa, this candle's really moving here. So, yeah, that was a bad tactical move on my part. I should have been long the candle as soon as, you know, it started printing a little bit of green. Anyway, that's okay. That'll teach me better for next time. Anyway, so Meta, I'm looking for possibly a reversion back into the previous area low, which is 496.5, 496 1/3. Amazon, though, is breaking out here. Not breaking out. It hasn't made days highs, but you should be very cognizant of the higher lows that it is putting in, and that takes us all the way to the first institutional print at 8 a.m. Each successive low has been a little bit higher than its predecessor. Alas, we have a bit of a top, though, at that 188. We've broken through 188. We got to a fifth, 188 and a fifth. But look at the closing prints, all south of 188. This candle here, if it closes above 188.80, would be the first one to do so today. Keep your eye here on the Zon. It looks like it may be trending up now a clean 1% on the day. The dead one is also curling right back into that level that we talked about. AAPL 211.5 is the level that I was looking to get short on, in the same way that I'd be looking to get long at 210.5, or generally where VWAP is. Apple stuck in a range after zigzagging a little bit to start the morning. I'm going to be looking to get short near that $0.50 area, Dare.
Yeah, so Tesla, that 182 level continuing to be really a funky one. I got back in the short because we were making these lower highs here. And then I was going to give it to 182. We pushed 182 with the viciousness. And now, like with that candle in the future, and now it's actually, it didn't even happen. It broke back below 182 and it's rejecting it again. So I'm getting back in the short. I don't want to get, I'm not going to get filtered. I don't want to get married to this ticker, but this ticker is the one that I think has the most interesting levels, at least for my purposes for scalping. Did lose a little bit in that last trade, but you know what? You just got to go push harder, get higher. Still not up on the day, mind you, but I've only traded AMD and Tesla, up on AMD, down on Tesla, but continuing to kind of try to push back here, because if you don't have belief, if you don't have conviction, and this is why, you know, I get that hope is a dirty word in trading, for lack of a better term, because hopium, but I think having optimism can be really helpful, because if not, then, you know, you're going to be like in your dark night of the soul, to use a literary term, all the time, because trading loves to put you in that mental place. But it's like, I think having that hope, having that optimism, and having that belief in yourself and your trades can be that much better. So apologies for sounding like a self-help book on this lovely Friday, but I do think it really helps. Also, Tesla coming back here with this 80 rejection. We're going to start here adding at 80s. I'll add in at 80. I'll do 91. Let's get a little spicy. Well, no, 89. I know 2 pennies a day. What's the difference? Yeah, it's more of a mental thing. I think we could be curling here. That's very valid. I'm still watching what we do. I should have been actually using that 182.20 as my out on this Tesla instead of what we did at this 182. Or sorry, not my out, my stop. And I say that because like this 182.20 has been the real resistance area. 182 has this bizarre relationship with Tesla, but that's not the real resistance area. So I should have been more cognizant of that. I think this short might be over now, and that's fine, but I still believed in it, and I had no reason to not be in it. So there you go. Should have maybe had a little bit more shown a little bit more aggression, but I didn't. It's all good. I want to see what we do here. I think we could be curling back up, but until I see decisive proof of that, I do owe it to myself to try again. Trying to trade less P&L and more progress and learning. NVIDIA needs to break 130, says CompuCare team. Yeah, we'll have to see. NVIDIA might actually agree with you here. NVIDIA pushing above that previous pre-market top here around this 129. Nice look here for NVDA. Shout out to Sean and Obi. Taking that one to the upside today. So yeah, I'm watching this Tesla. I want to see us curl back below this 182. If this 182 flips from support to resistance, that's where I'm going to have to be outie. Resistance to support. That's where I'm going to have to be outie. I want to see what we do here. Like I said, if I keep seeing lower highs, though, here in this wick basis, I don't have a reason to leave, but come on, Tesla, break down a little bit here. Let's go. How's it going?
Hey, Ty, Brian, I see you, sir. I see you. I know I saw it. I didn't take it, Ty. I started eyeing goggles. Ty is talking about Meta and the reversion back into that 496 on META. I hope you printed on that, Ty. Shout out to you. I was busy staring at goggles, Google. Because Gorev brought it to my attention. I was a little disappointed in myself. We were talking about those 179 bottoming tail candles, that there was a buyer in and around there. We were able to wet our beak decently on it, but it came back into the 10. And look what it did again, another bottoming tail into 179, showing you that the buyers now moving up in their aggression. So initially they were buying this bad boy at 178.75, and then it became the whole dollar level, and now they're buying it a little bit above the whole dollar level into the 10s, at 179.10s. And 180 we go. I saw you guys yelling in the chat about 180's got to go. Well, 180 went, but on a quick wick basis. 180.05 now. HOD on GOOGL as we fight a little bit here to stay above 180 or even to stay in the 179.90s. Look for a possible mean reversion trade. I don't mean mean reversion all the way back into the mean. Sorry, that was a poorly used phrase. I mean a retracement, a healthy retracement on an uptrend. We haven't had a 20-period retracement today. All the closing prints have been north of the 10 exponential on the 5. The yellow line on my chart, as viewers will know, is the 20 exponential. And, you know, with a big break into 180 like that, a retracement, a healthy retracement could come into the 20. So I'll be on watch for that. The 20 right now on my chart on the 5-minute here is at 179 mid-teens. So we'll see what that does. The future is right back into Greensville, but it's been a bit of a zig and a bit of a zag, a little bit above, a little bit below. The only thing that I can kind of say that really makes this distinctly different are these higher lows that we've been putting on the future. The IB low took us all the way down into the low 19.9s. Then we troughed out it at about 19.950, and this time 19.975, and then we zoom back up into Greensville. However, this area, this exact area that we're at now, reject, 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 and yeah, you guessed it, reject. So this time, is it going to be different? We'll see. This level 2 over here is yesterday's closing print, 20,031. That's where we closed off on the NQ September contract. We also defended that level in the pre when we were above it. Once we broke down below it, now we're rejecting off it. So this is make or break time here as we're right back into the highs, the high zone of the future on the day. And so I expect some selling here, given that today is a rebalancing day. And, you know, a lot of the volume is going to be done at the close. So I don't know exactly, you know, it's not my strength to trade these type of days, these quad witching days, rebalancing days, not really my strength. But I wanted to make note of it for you guys in case it factors into your trades here. All right, the future's going. The future's going here. We're right back at the IB high. The IB high that we printed was 20,045. That 50-point level could be a line in the sand. 50-point, 100-point levels I always take note of. But kind of decision time here. And if there's anything that you can use to kind of gauge whether or not we get a break or a reject, these higher lows, you know, keep them in consideration. So anyway, that's a look on the future at the moment. And yeah, NVIDIA's curling back into 130. Apple, all right, here we go. Apple just did a bit of a candle of indecision. So I think I'm going to be shorting at these levels here on the dead one. The stop is going to be through the break of 65.
Nice, yeah. Hopefully the dead one, you will take some profits there from the dead one there. Okay, this Tesla. Okay, so I gave back some of the what was going on there in the short. Like I said, I made some of it back, then I lost some more trying to short that again. This pop into that 182.20 was very fast, and then I basically was like, you know, Adara, look at other names, but the name that I have, I feel like the best read on the levels, though I haven't always played it appropriately, has been this Tesla. So that's why I got back in here. You might be like, Adara, look at these topping tail candles. Why'd you go long? Because I was watching the tape in the book here. The same as what we're doing here, this initial VWAP bounce and around these 182.20 levels, we'll get to a level and then we'll sell it off really quickly and bounce right back. That is what I think we're doing just based on the action we got to the book. We get to 182.29s and then we recover pretty quickly. We hold it. So that's why I decided to go long. Took it with a little bit more size, not like an insane amount, but, you know, an amount that is, you know, it gave me a little bit more wiggle room because I said, Darren, you want to try to play it like a scalp? You got to play it like a scalp. So let's play it like a scalp. Going to be taking half here at 48s if we get 48s. Tesla's being very finicky about my 48s, but, you know, we'll see if it just, there we go. Out a half. Let's keep, oh, sorry for the banging the table there.
Bang. I don't care.
I would love, based, because I was looking at this earlier, so I know what levels I like. 60s. 65s, I'm okay with. I don't know if I'm going to get my 65s, but that would be a great level here. Oh, you want to just give me 51s, Tesla? Cool, I'll take that as well. Okay, yeah, Tesla was like, we're going to make you wait a little bit, Adara. I want to see us have this little bit of bounce off of VWAP here. I'm aware that I could have overstayed my welcome, but happy it took off half the profit. Wow, can't talk. Not profit like P-R-O-P-H-E-T, profit like P-R-O-F-I-T. I think my brain like got them confused for a second there, so all good. Let's keep pushing higher. Clearly some coffee is needed. I was telling Sharif this morning, I took a morning nap at like 5:30 a.m. So
hold on, tell everybody what you were doing before.
Oh yeah, so I was working out. I do my morning workout, and I was like mid push-up, and I realized I'm like, Adara, you're gonna fall asleep. So take a moment, just rest a little bit on the floor, nap on the floor, get back, keep going. So finish that nap, was very happy. It did not go too long because with me, like that can be an issue. And then we just kept going, like Tesla, trying to keep pushing here to make a metaphor. So that was what happened there with my morning nap, just because I was like, may as well explain why I'm a little bit tired. I slept a little bit longer and then I had that morning nap. But right now I'm out of Tesla. Really proud of this. Still down to the same and down to the day, but happy I keep pushing. And you know, persistence is key. There we go. I'm going to stop talking now.
All right.
How are you doing?
No, you're good to go. Look, I really want to punch short Apple at these levels, but I got one eye on the future, the other eye on Apple. The future's at high a day. I'm not going to punch short on the dead one at the future high a day. I get, you know, that it could be other things influencing it and Apple could move independently, but I'm hesitant to want to short, you know, a really big name at the high day on the future. I'm seeing what I want to see right now. I'm seeing a red candle. It's topping tail into that resistance zone, that 211.50-ish area. I just want to see a little bit more here because the future is just pumping. The future is in Greensville now. It's above the IB high, but Apple's below the $0.50. You know, that's the thing, though. It's fighting a little bit below the $0.50, a little bit above. It's trend. Say that again, Obi. Yeah, well, so is the NQ. I mean, they're both at high day, and Apple comes right back down. So I should have stuck to my plan right there. I would have been 20 pennies in the money on that, super quick. But I can still get in here because we're still seeing a topping tail candle. I don't want to punch short on Apple when we're at high of day. 2,000 lots, 130, OB says on NVDA. Anybody who's trading NVIDIA, keep your eye. If you're long, 2,000 lots, 130 NVDA. Be careful with that one. Shout out to the OB. The one, he is the Knob, and he is on my right. And I mistook him for Neil today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, he wasn't limping, so.
You mistook Ramin for Obi yesterday, too.
Oh, I did.
So that was also
Yeah. Well, Ram's good enough to kind of let me live that down. It's all good. No worries there.
No, that was on Tuesday. You did that. I was trying to remember
All right, I'm going short here. I know that I don't have the best price, but I saw a topping tail candle come what may.
Yeah, I'm going to echo everything Sharif just said there on this Tesla. With regards to me going short, you might be like, Daria, you just had a long. Yeah, my Tesla has been purely just based on me watching or maybe obsessing, depending on what word you want to use, the book and tape on this and just the way it moves. We had some resistance at 182.60 earlier. When I saw we couldn't get back above that with any kind of vigor on the long, that's when I got out around, I think, 57s on the long, and I flipped short. I'm going to take out half here at 44s. Yeah, I know, like 5 pennies. It's all good. Because I got involved at 182.50s. But you have to be okay with scalping, and when realizing things aren't maybe necessarily going to go the way you had it planned, switch up the plan and get it going and get it popping. So let's see how this goes here. We're going to take about half of this out. Again, like, what is this? A cool, what was my entry price in this? Yeah, it's going to be a cool 5 cents for half of it. But we got a piece for the dream here, and we're going to keep going lower. Tesla 182.30s, I know, was a bit of a sticking point earlier. It's looking like it's trying to prove that is going to continue to flip. So that's where we're going to be flipping out of this trade. I know this was a pretty small trade P&L wise, but again, not trying to focus on P&L, trying to focus on progress and learning. We also have a super chat. Thank you so much to Mark the Realtor. 199 super chat. Amazon, rocket ship, star. AMD, heart eye emoji. Well, you know, I can echo you with the heart eye emojis there, Scott Tomlinson. AMD has been beautiful. That VWAP bounce here, this was...
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible. I took some shorts off into VWAP, but I was like, yeah, I think this could get dicey. And AMD was like, well, good thing you left, okay? Because, like, you stay AMD, you're going to get chopped up. I'm bouncing higher. AMD. It did make a bit of a lower high here, though, worth noting. This 163.20. Then we get to this 162.65. Also, some rejection earlier at 162.65. Isn't that a little bit interesting, AMD? So, yeah, nice look there, though. Congrats to you, Scott Tomlinson. Sounds like you are, or sorry, not Scott. I was talking to Scott Tomlinson in the chat earlier. Mark the Realtor 305. I apologize, guys. Shout out to Mark the Realtor 305. Hopefully Miami is nice and warm right now. I assume it is because it's Miami. But let's look at Amazon as well for your super chat. A to the M to the Z to the N. My Amazon chart is not showing me anything. I'll just pull up my side chart because my side chart shows it in its full glory. Yeah, Amazon just, this is the 1 minute. I'll switch to the 5. Amazon grinding higher here, pushing higher. Amazon up 1% on the day. Let's see what we do here at this. Let me switch to this thing so I can show it. Let's see what we do with this 187.80s. This was a bit of an area of resistance earlier. Then we pushed above it. So this 187.80 could be interesting. Shout out to you, though, Mark the Realtor 305. Sounds like you are printing. Shout out to Miami.
Absolutely. The people want to know, are you still long NVIDIA? He's no longer long NVIDIA, but he is looking at that 130 that we talked about. How many lots? 2,000 lots on the ask on NVDA. Let's pull that up. Let's see what Obe is talking about there. Shout out to the Obe, the one, the Kenob over there. Let's have a look here. Here we go. We're in the 90s now. The tape's starting to move, guys. Let's have a look at where the whole dollar is. Can't see the whole dollar quite yet. We need it to advance a little bit higher to have eyes. And yes, I see the whole dollar, big boy size, like big Kyle Burdett at that 130 level. There's well over, it looks about 3,000 lots or so at that 130. Keep your eye on it. We've been dancing near 130 for a hot minute now. The 130 is also the 200 exponential on the 5, not that I use that all that often. Break even on the day is 130.75. What's going on there, Katina Man? The Google. The Katina Man is printing on Google. He is long 179s. HOD on goggles is 180.06. I got to go back to that because that size got taken out. Big move there through 130, but now it's a little bit of zig and a little bit of zag. So even though we took out that size at 130, look at this. We're right back down below. Keep your eye on the tape. Where is the big size coming in from? And one thing we should also tell people, guys, there is a way to basically look and filter the size on this so that you don't see those 20 share orders. You don't see those 50 share orders. You can have notice of the bigger orders. I don't know if it's available on your platform, but it's available on ours. And what a lot of the traders here do is they'll have 2 time and sales. They'll have one with all the orders unfiltered as you're seeing it on mine. And then they'll have another one on the side chart or in the side screen, excuse me, and they'll filter it for, say, anything over 1,000 shares. And that way they'll see the big orders as they come in. That kind of helps you with these specific levels of key areas of support and resistance because you want to see who's winning, right, at that key SNR zone. So I think that would be a very good time to have that filter right now. Alas, it does look like we may reject for the moment that 130 area. Again, you know, it's kind of hard to tell at this point, a little bit below, a little bit above. But yeah, a bit of a tougher day, I would say, for NVDA today. Definitely off the lows, no question about that. Still down though, Adara, 2/3%.
Yeah, shout out to Ahmed Alwala. First and last trade on this Friday. Just short, pew, pew, pew. So let's see if we can say pew, pew, pew to pew, 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 pew. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing there. Oh, nice look. Okay, I see what you mean here. We have this 482.40. We're projecting a little bit. I would say the area I'd watch out for where there could be a little bit of a change in the tides, to shout out to Sharif. 481, where is this? 481.70. That was a bit of a resistance area earlier. That could be something to keep an eye on. But yeah, generally, like we did have a bit of an upward move here, but falling pretty steeply with a bit of a topping tail candle. Hope you print there, as we always say. Shout out to Ahmed Amwala. I'm out of, if Tesla will let me leave here, I will be out of Tesla about 30 pennies for the rest of this position here. I want to explain what the strategy was with this. Tesla, come on here. Okay, Tesla was initially at 80s, then we kind of got a little bit rougher here. I would love to get out at 70s. I think I should have probably been a little bit more aggressive and just had an order waiting, but I wasn't really sure what we were going to get. If Tesla bounces here off these 55s, I'm okay with staying in this name because we have had higher highs and higher lows. That was the whole impetus for getting back in this long here. We're going to have a resting order here. Let's do 76s. Why I got involved, though, is because initially, right, when I got in this first long here, I got long when I saw that 182. Sorry, there's a lot of triangles here. That 182.29, I like that hold. So that was why I was like, Adara, you owe it to yourself to get in the long here. I took it pretty decent size. The plan was to just take that pop here into that 182. What was this? 182. I took out half 182.48, the other half 180, the other half 182.57s. Then we had this breakdown. I took that into 35s. Keep in mind, though, our last low was 29, so we're seeing slightly higher lows. And then I was like, you know what, Adara, try to plan for this position. I was going to get half the position here at 51s and the rest at 44s. I had a third area of entry plan for 39s. The lowest we got, that was 43s, and we pushed higher. I apologize for all the numbers there. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm doing micro book reading here on Tesla and taking these tiny little levels of support and resistance. Clear resistance, though, here at 182.80s. We scraped it earlier, wasn't able to get out there, ended up getting out at 77s. We'll have to see if this keeps pushing higher. We are continuing to see higher highs and higher lows here on the book, but be aware, both on the book level earlier and on the chart, there is some clear resistance happening here at 80s. I'm not getting back in until I see something I like, but honestly, I have no regrets. Shout out to Obi there, and we're the Millers, with getting or marrying myself to this Tesla. Not married because, like, you know, I'm in it for too long, but because I have stuff I like in it, decided I wanted to look at it. But Sharif, how are you doing this? Find it. Let's see what else is going on. Anyone looking to short NVIDIA here, says Yannick Nesbitt. Let's take. Well, NVIDIA is above this 130. I would say, for myself anyway, I would probably need a bit more of a move here in NVIDIA. NVIDIA's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so like half an hour worth of green candles, bottoming tail candles. We had to bounce off the 90 EMA. I gotta say, we'd probably need a bit more of a sentiment shift for me to short NVIDIA. So
Yanni wants to short NVIDIA. Well, look, to me, when you're trending like this, the short has to be mean reversion because clearly you're not taking the trend trade here. So I personally don't mean revert. You're going to have to wait for the OB V1 that can hope to come back on at 2 o'clock if you want to hear about mean reversion trades, but that ain't my modus operandi. Eh? You got to watch out because the reversion could also be mean.
He's been killing it with the puns lately.
He has.
Shout out Obi's puns
I wonder
lately.
why.
What, you're blaming me?
No. Not at all. It's not like you've brought puns into the office or anything like that.
You sound like I spread, like I'm like patient zero or something.
Like Ram Ram? When she infected everybody on the floor? Shout out to Ram Ram. I'm kidding, of course. She's not. Say it again, Ram Ram. Yeah, yes. No, we couldn't. Don't tell her we can hear her. Now she knows. Ram Ram. Just teasing you guys. Goggles high of day, Nvidia high of day, Amazon high of day, and the future. Well, we're not at high of day yet because the overnight high is about 20 points from where we are. 20,086. We're at 66. But yeah, you can tell here a bit of a shift in trend. And look at the dead one. The dead one didn't make it back near VWAP. I mean, like we were talking about AAPL being a bit of a range trade today with about that 211.50 to the top side and about 210.50, 60, whatever, wherever VWAP is to the downside. And I was able to get a nice short on this, even though I waited a little bit on this topping tail candle. But look at this. Immediately after the topping tail candle, we get two bottoming tail candles. Which is it, Apple? Which is it? Like, I don't know. So, you know, when you see stuff like this, it shows seller exuberance and buyer exuberance. And I guess that's not unusual because you could have equilibrium. And that's what I think you're seeing here. You're seeing a bit of an equilibrium starting to form between buyers and sellers at said price. So we'll see if Apple's able to decide which way it wants to go. NVIDIA knows which way it wants to go, and it's coming into yesterday's closing print. So 130 was a big print. And we saw the 3,000 some odd lots that were there, but so is this 130 3/4. That is yesterday's closing price on NVDA. We are about 10 pennies from that at the moment, having moved up into the 130 mid to low 60s. We're really close to that closing print from yesterday on NVDA. You know, I didn't look at the book to see what kind of size we have at that closing print. Let's see if we can see a little bit here. If we can move up a little bit in the price, I'll be able to see where we're sitting at the mid-70s, but a bit of a sell-off coming right now on NVDA at the half dollar, so can't really see the book quite yet at those levels, so we'll have to pack our patience there at Darrow. So let's see what the chat is up to here. And before I get to that, actually, I want to remind you guys to vote. Right, this NVIDIA retracement looks awfully good. How about goggles up 2%? Whichever one you want to talk about, have your say every day on the afternoon rundown by voting during the midday show. Get into the chat right now. Hit that exclamation point, that word join, space, and the $sign, and the ticker of your choice. The cutoff is at 1:50 p.m. Adair.
Yeah, like shout out there, definitely vote. Also, yeah, Tesla, every time I'm like, oh, Tesla, I got you. Tesla's like, you know, like you guys call me Stressla, right? Like, you know, I can do whatever I want. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Tesla. I understand. I apologize. No, I'm joking. Yeah, so lost a little bit more here on that Tesla, but like the issue was here, the reason I added was because that 182.80, which like I said, was like a brick wall. We broke above it. We got to 85s. We got to 87s. I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting my 80s break. So I was like, you know, I had a little bit of the position left. I said, let's add a little bit, you know, try to curl back in here. And Tesla's like, what do you mean? And then sold off a little bit. I was going to give it till 40s. We broke below 40s. I got out. So like I said, you know, I would rather be trying things and have them not work than not try. So obviously, you know, I'm not trying to use that as an excuse. I'm down on the day and I'm down on this name, but I have learned, and this is the same as like I said this on Tuesday, I missed out on what would have been a profitable AMD trade by staring at NVIDIA endlessly as it got to that 136. I don't regret that, because I learned so much more from that NVIDIA trade than I would have learned from the AMD. Now, I don't mean to sound like whatever, but I do think sometimes it's about what you learn. Obviously, this has not been my best week. I was flat yesterday, but still like marginally down in the day. This has been probably one of my worst weeks in a little bit, especially after having two profitable weeks. But you know what? You have to have those setbacks so that you can come back. And as 21 Savage says, take less L's, make more M's. Tesla, you want to break back below 40s? Be my guest. I will take you back again. This is what, you know, you can't, if you like stuff, you can't have fear. And that's why, again, this is the only ticker that I'm seeing with action that I feel really comfortable playing in levels that I like. So I will continue to commit to it for better or worse. And I don't want to, you know, like saying I'm getting married, not like horrifically down or anything on this. I really like what I'm seeing, so that's why I'm committing to trying this. Oh, someone's mentioning Billy. People keep calling Billy my stock here. Admitting Jordan saying, Lady A, isn't this your stock? Billy. Okay, so the reason people joke that Billy is my stock.
Billy. Oh, yeah.
Because one time
and it happened today again.
It's up 6% and there's no news. I said to everyone, I'm like, guys, do you know what's going on with Billy? Do you know what's going on with Billy? Everyone's like, Dara, why are you so obsessed with Billy? And then Ramin, shout out to Ramin, found me the story on Billy. Billy is not, I don't trade Billy, but you got to respect it. You know, Billy is the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
Here,
oh, wow. Billy, yeah. I forgot. You did that one today, too.
I'm not even going to lie.
Guys,
but this is pushing higher.
NVIDIA just dropped $1.
Wow.
So, yeah, 130.63 HOD, 129.49. I'm sitting on it with a dip buy to defend 129. The IB high is at 129. We also have an area crest near that 129-ish. Something tells me my frugality may get me in trouble again, as the 10 exponential is a little bit higher than 05s at which I'm sitting, and now we're bouncing back up, it looks like here, off that. Where did it dip down to? I think it dipped down to high to mid 20s. Right back into the 50s, into the 60s we go. I missed this one. That's all right. Look, I wanted that 129.05. I front ran it by 5 pennies, but I missed it by 20 some odd pennies there. On this trade on NVDA. Into the 70s it goes, and that was a good little retracement candle. But look, it's still an uptrend, but it's down the day, but it's an uptrend, and it held the 10 exponential. So why don't I just get in here? I'm just thinking out loud, guys. I'm not asking, it's kind of like a rhetorical question. Let's see. Let's just wait a little bit, see if we can get down a little bit more. If we can't, then maybe I'll weasel my way into it. I'm sitting at 129.05 with a dip buy at that level. Looks like it's going to go unfilled. The other one that I want to talk about, Meta. Look at this area that we took the short on Meta. This was the flat bottom break that we're yapping about, 496.5. That was defended once, twice, and yes, many times here, OB thrice. Then at around 1125, we broke it, and broke it aggressively, making our way down to 493.80. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Look where we top out on the retracement, 496.50, and down back into 495, and a third we go. Should have had that, should have been more alive to that trade, was not. But that is a good look there. NVIDIA still hanging out in the 60s, holding the 10 exponential on the 5. Doesn't look like he's even going to come close into my entry. Microsoft, though, doing real well here. Bit of a top right now at this 449.5, but holding the 10 exponential, and most notably holding that area crest that we put in at $448.75 essentially between 449 and 448 3/4. Holding that level it's been for a little while right now. But really the strongest name on the day, without question, GOOGL at day's high, 180.20. Shout out to the Katina man who took this at 179. Great trade, brother.
Yeah, shout out. Shout out to the Katina man himself. Great look there. And I can't believe it's already 12 p.m. But did you know in 2 hours you can see Sharif, whose mustache is not a ticker, by the way, guys, just disclaimer, PSA, and OB and Sean, the Sean and the OB Wonfidence, they'll talk about some tickers. But how do you vote for these tickers? Go in the chat right now, ! Join, space, $, Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD, Amazon, I don't know. You know tickers. Pick your ticker. Put that in the chat right there in that chat, and then you can vote.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Might be needed there.
Yes.
But yeah, what a time. What a time. Also, Tesla's chilling around 182.40. I scalped legitimate pennies on this. Please just punch. But right now, I think this could be a bit of a decision point because 182.40 has been resistance, but 182.30 has been support, and I'm like, this is kind of a quagmire I don't want to really wander into right now. So just watching, waiting with the finger on the trigger.
All right. Yeah, I'm still watching here. So happy I didn't punch along into NVIDIA because here we go. Mid-30s we go. We're about to hit 20s. I'm sitting at 05s. This is going to be a defend of 129. If we don't hold 129, I'm out. Simple as that. Now, if it curls back above 129 and shows its propensity or its intention to continue to rise and hold it, and it was just a quick wick, and then pop back up again, I'll get back in. So we'll take the paper cut if we have to, but it's gonna have to hold that general area of 129, otherwise I want no smoke. So right now it's at that $0.25, it's right back at that 10 exponential on the 5. It's doing a whole lot of volume, as you can see here, by how quickly my time and sales on my level 2 are moving. And here we go into the mid-teens, into the low teens, mid-teens, I should say, we go, but then you met a wall of buying because right up into 30, I still see lower highs and lower lows on the 1 minute. So I'm going to continue to stick to my level at that 129.05 defend. But right now, nothing doing at the moment with NVDA. Let's look at some of these small cap gappers because we kind of stopped talking about them a little bit. AREB stopped me out, and so I have no play on this one until it can get above the volume weighted average price on a closing basis. You can see over here, it's definitely having trouble with VWAP. On a closing basis, it's wicked up twice ever since giving up the ghost at that level, so nothing for me there. CLOV are really hugging 130, and so the fact that it's holding up at VWAP is kind of good news, but you know, these lower highs are kind of indicative as to what may happen. It may be another flat bottom break through that 130, and then you have a decent gap fill from 130 into 120. I know I'm only talking 10 pennies, but the stock's only $1. So yeah, you got to take it in context. But that is a decent move that you can fill, a gap fill between a 130 break to a pre-market area top at 119, 120. Should be interesting there. NXL, we had a great trade on that one off VWAP. Shout out to Adair for pointing it out.
Shout out to Dominic for this.
Dominic, that's right. He was the one that pointed it out there in the chat. Shout out to him. But look at what this one did. Gave up the ghost as well at VWAP. So this one not tradable with my system on a breakout basis. For whatever reason, though, it's holding up at the 20. I guess maybe trying to defend the whole dollar level at 2. Trying to come into VWAP. We'll have to see if it meets its resistance point right there at 217, 218. NXL, decent look on the day. GRDI was a holdover from yesterday. I didn't really give this one too much love today because it kind of did like a triangle retracement. As you can see, this one had the majority of the action yesterday, just owing to the price action and the volume. As you can see on the bar, the volume bar is there. Much more subdued today. GRDI kind of just left it, see if it got a breakout or whatever, but nothing doing right now so far on GRDI. Great move up for NVIDIA here. So it does hold the $0.25, and I don't get filled. Frugality is my issue. Sucks.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in myself. I was short that the 129.35. I thought it could have gotten to like 129.10s. I was like cool with that. I really should though. I was saying like, oh, it kind of looks like we're flipping from some resistance support in the book. It's like Adara, you should have gotten out the second you saw that. But I was like, well, maybe it'll go higher. No, Adara, it's not. Like, you know. So I'm really disappointed in myself for that. It did take a little bit of a, I don't want to say paper cut, a mild shiv there. It's all good. If we make another lower high here though, I want to see what we do at 130s. I should have taken the long though when I flipped out at the short. I considered it and then was like, oh, Adara. I was like, no, Adara, flip long. It's fine. It is what it is. Obviously not like the most pleased as punch with my trading today, but I'm really proud of myself for identifying these levels on Tesla. And yeah, it's been a fun day. It's been an exciting day. And Shopify says
I want to send you a video.
News. Yeah, we had that news today. Apparently, they have their summer 24 coming out here on June 24th. So like that's pretty clever of them, right? June 24, summer 24. Pretty decent volume on this. Bouncing here off the 9 EMA. Yeah, great look there. Thank you for reminding us about this here, Northwestern Canopy Development. Shout out to, as well, I know Sean's been talking about Shopify being pretty strong as well. And right now, we're kind of cruising around this 9 EMA, definitely finding a bit of resistance at 68. I think 68 would be the level for Shopify to push above here, to push its little cart to the upside. But we did, or I guess it's e-cart because this is online shopping. We bounced here off 57s, great look. Then we ran into that 68 resistance, coming here into the 9 EMA. Let's see what Shopify has to say. Sharif, would you like a coffee or water? Because I think I will take a.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll take a water. Thank you, Adair. Appreciate you. All right, guys, let's have a look at what NVDA is doing here. It's still having trouble with 130, surprising, even though it was able to take it out at 130.63. Up we go, and multiple topping tails on the one here on NVDA. So interesting. Look, guys, if we reject 130 and make a move right back down, that'll be a lower high, and I'll likely take NVIDIA short. We're going to have to see what it does at 130 though, because 130 has been very interesting today. We saw the 3,000 some odd lots that were sitting there. In addition, it rejected off 63s, which is like 13 pennies lower than the closing price for yesterday. So there may be some NVIDIA weakness here. I got to tell you, I'm surprised. I figured we'd have a load up cycle. We have the rebalancing today, so that could change by the end of the day. In addition, the XLK that was supposed to rebalance Apple from 20 some odd % to 4 was going to substitute it with NVIDIA shares. So that's a plethora of shares that are going to be added as well. So I thought, you know, we would just continue to pump up here, but I guess it doesn't work as cleanly as that. So keeping my eye on NVIDIA, I'm very interested in that 130 level. If it does reject again, breaks 129, I'm going short on NVDA. So we'll see what we get, and we won't get upset. Amazon, interesting look here on AMZN. It comes into the IB high at 188 and a third. We have now, you could make an argument, quadruple top here, IB high, right? This 188 and a third. We touch it once, twice, OB thrice over here, and then another time at 1210. All have not been able to break and hold above that 188 and a third. It is still off the 10 exponential though. So you could get that move up on AMZN. It's also, the 10 exponential is also that whole dollar at 188. So this could be an interesting look here on AMZN. What else we got going on? What are you guys looking at in the chat? U.S. oil is dumping, says Mr. Libby. It is down, yeah, it looks like here at 1/3% as it sells off into that 80 3/4. So shout out, good look there. We've been talking a lot about Occidental lately, and Uncle Warren definitely increasing his stake in Occidental. And this has been an interesting range for some time now here on Oxy. If you've been following Oxy, you're well acquainted with this range. Uncle Warren does not allow Oxy to break 55, and Oxy hasn't broken 55 since I feel like early 2022. If you break 55, you're breaking it very, very briefly. So, you know, next time this makes its way down to 55, I mean, I should be all adding here. I'm going to put an alert at 56 just for this particular trade. Yeah, man, this has been an interesting range here on Occidental. You don't need to play to the high side, even though it looks like 70 as of late has been the line in the sand. Forget about the high side. The more defined side is the low side here, the bottom end of the range, 55. Over 2 years now, this range holding. So good luck there. Let's see what else. Tesla coming back into the general area here of 182 3/4. Nothing doing at those levels. So I'm not going to take any trades there. Let's look at these small cap gappers. Anything doing? Not really. What are you guys looking at? Pork and beans, says Walmart. Let's look at WMT. I saw Costco the other day at all-time highs again, and every time I look at that name, I just remember Mark Roberts, the stock father. No, Costco. I'm talking to the Katina man, by the way. Mark Robertson used to be called, or he is called the stock father. He used to be a guest on the show. He would talk more about fundamentals. And you know that I've been a viewer of the show for many years now, almost going on 4 years. And I'll never forget when inflation started, Mark Roberts was like, I'm buying 3 stocks to hedge against inflation. They were all kind of like retail names. Albertsons, Walmart, and Costco. I made money on Albertsons, I made money on Walmart, and Albertsons and Costco, and I broke even on Walmart because it does like nothing. And thank you, Adara. And I'll never forget how much I bought Costco for at the time. I got in $442. Anybody wants to see the chart on Costco now? Yeah, $866.97 is the high a day, but this thing can move because $66.97 is a high and $55.09 is a low. That's almost $12 worth of range there on one name. So Costco, even though it obviously is $800, $442 and change I bought this thing for, and it's over double that now. So these retail names, especially the ones that offer like decent savings, are definitely are in vogue at the moment. And we know Walmart hit all-time highs not that long ago as well. So keeping an eye here, again, just to go back to what I was saying earlier on NVIDIA, a break of 129 here, and I'm looking to go short at those levels of there.
We you so much there, Sheree,
All good.
for chatting about there. Yeah, so somehow, even while just getting myself a little coffee there, managed to spill some milk everywhere. So hopefully I can be as successful in these trades as I am at spilling on myself today. But no, also, you have to laugh at yourself, right? I think that's like the only way to kind of do things. But yeah, hopefully we're going to be able to get these trades coming to the downside. The second I sit down, I see Tesla once again rejecting that 182.80 level I was yapping about earlier.
Ready?
And now, because we, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Because we rejected that 182.80 earlier, I see that we rejected again, and I say, you know what? Time to short this one more time. So I did short it again here. We could be bouncing off the 90 MA or the VWAP, this level, but I have more confluence right now in the short. I'm going to add at 182.60 should we get there. Oh yeah, shout out to confluence. Let's see if we get it. Also, who is this in the chat? Domingo asking Chewy range in the 1 minute. Let's see if there is a range that is playable here on Chewy on the 1 minute. Okay. Let me see in the 1 minute how it looks. I'm going to have to be honest with you. This is, I see the range. This is not one that I would really want to play because I think you'd have to take a decent amount of share size to have profit with it. It's about 24.80 to 24.96. Slightly higher lows. Yeah, right now we're kind of, let me see here. I would be cognizant of the fact that we have a slightly higher low here. We could be tilting a little bit here, but yeah, I would say that there's not a ton of movement, at least for my purposes here for Chewy. 15 penny range though. Be aware though, Domingo or anyone playing this, of the higher lows that we're getting here. Now we're curling around this 24.90. I think this could break to the upside. If you're playing it to the upside, just be aware of that. So right now I am just in this Tesla, trying not to make this too stressful. Let's switch back to the 5. But yeah, like I said, the main impetus for this is we had that breakdown earlier at that 182.40, and right now I have, and I'm going to use it again, way more confluence for it. You know what else has confluence every day is, that work better in my head, is voting. You want to vote for the stocks you want, and maybe you'll have some confluence in your vote with someone else, and your ticker will be on the big screen. There we go, found a way to make it work. So shout out to that. You go in the ticker. You don't go to the ticker, you go in the chat right now and you put your ticker, and maybe that ticker's Tesla, maybe the ticker's Chewy, maybe that ticker's AMD, I don't know, tickers. You go in there and you vote and you hope that your voice gets heard because democracy.
Yes. So I told you that we would have a pseudo segment today, right? And it had something to do with Captain Protein. This, as everybody knows, is Ty. Hold on, Ram. We got to set it up here. You're not letting the context develop. So Ty sits behind the Katina Man. We see him sitting behind the Katina Man. He sits behind the Neil. He's been crowned by the Katina Man as Captain Pro. He was Mr. Protein. He gave himself a battlefield promotion to Captain Protein. And today, I think this solidified it. I went into the kitchen to secure my eggs. He had a 12-pack of eggs raw right there. And he put it into the mug, Rocky Balboa style. Shout out to Ty. He is now the crown Captain Protein. Hit it, Ram.
We got 6 out of the tray.
That's a half dozen, pal.
Kill it, baby. Let's
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you, Ty. Oh, that's deep.
Oh, it's leaking.
That's deep.
Oh,
that's Rocky Balboa.
it's leaking.
That's right
It's
there.
leaking.
Yes. Boom. Let me get
Shout out to Captain Protein, man. He secured that. That's his. From now on, I'm referring to him as Captain Protein. I've never done that, by the way.
Well, I know too, like Sharif was a little bit like, I said, oh, Sharif, I thought you'd be Captain Protein. He's like, yeah, so would I. So now he is gladly ceding that title. Also, forget about securing the bag. Ty's over there securing the egg.
He is.
So
Shout out
that
to
was
Ty,
quite
man.
an extraordinary feat of strength. One that I would probably not want to participate in, but shout out to Ty. And also I love the muscles there that he flexed there after that. That is a flex, being able to consume eggs like that. So putting a literal flex on the figurative flex. Sean's just sitting here looking like an evil genius, just sitting here and contemplating his trades. Shout out to Sean. You can see Sean and Obi and vote for your tickers in just 1.5 hours. So go
yes, absolutely. There, I'm long Nvidia at these levels. I'm gonna get out if it breaks 60. I like this hold over here of this previous area crest. Where am I long? I'm long 84s. Let's see if it can make its way back into 130. It's having trouble at 92. That's the second time it's made its way back into 92 and met like a wall of sellers. Kind of bizarre there. So my out is going to be the break of 69, and I'm not really going to give it too much room. Let's see if we can get filled. Oh, wow. Every time it makes its way up into 92s, it's finding a wall of sellers. All right, I'm just going to pack my patience with this one. I like the fact that it retraced into that area crest as well as the 20 exponential on the 5. If it holds this level, it looks like a decent level that it could hold here. And nice, we just got filled. All right, up into 129 we go. Let's see if we can break and hold above that 129. It seems like a line in the sand today, a bit of a doji candle coming in here. I'm just looking at the side chart to see how the 5-minute looks at the moment. Up we go now, 20 pennies in the money. Let's see if we can get a bit more, 30 pennies in the money now as we move into the mid-teens, and that's going to be it. So we'll cover there a little bit. Nice little move for NVDA getting bottom trough, but something tells me it's probably going to move up a little bit more. So decent look there, 120. Sorry, what was that area I want to tell you? So the area top that I based this trade on is a little, I don't want to say it's fluid because it's this area right here. So it's the $0.75. I got in at 84s. I chased a little bit, but the whole idea was for it to hold the IB high. There was a crest over here that we got into at 1120. It rejected that. It cleared it by some distance. So technical analysis tells you that if it clears it and it was an area top, it should use it as a defense, and it did on this occasion. Let's see if it does on permanent, not permanent, but for the trade. At the moment. So keeping my eye on that. Meta has been just sell the pop kind of day. Unreal. So there's been, say again, Katina man? Apple's tanking right now, guys. I see a big move down here on Apple. There must be something, let's find out quickly. The Katina man is short 211.50. Big move down for Apple, not seeing anything. What is this? 211, no, this is all 211 stuff. None of this is new. I don't see anything here, guys, on Apple. We'll have to find out what happened. Big move down, though. 210.25 right now.
Yeah, I mean,
nice trade, Sean.
Shout out to Sean and his trade. Really wish that Tesla would have also had a bit of a move down. Tesla, which has been, if you remember, rejecting that 182.80 all for a while, decided when I had a nice little position built into it, that's the time. He would like to push above. Sean's going to show his trades, though, guys. So let's look at those. Oh, sorry. Yeah, look at those. Look at that Apple short. So I didn't realize. Look at that BWAP breakdown there that Sean took. Shout out to Sean. Killing his trade.
Testing. So I don't know if something's happened. Oh, here it is. Apple won't roll out AI features in the EU this year. So will not roll out AI features. But the thing is like 211.50 has been the price the whole time. So there it is. And obviously I'm just sitting here and started being like, what in the... By the way, this dude just ate 6 straight eggs like that? What do you think about that, Sharif? Is that healthy to do? Is that healthy to... Rocky Balboa, that's a movie. Hey, what do you think real? You think that's healthy?
Aww. No, I don't think.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I was talking to Ram. So Ram said something that brought to my attention. She said her old man used to do it and he got cholesterol. Okay. And the yolk has tons of cholesterol. So that's why I only have 2 of those bad boys a day.
Like I used to eat a bag of sugar and got diabetes.
Yeah, that would be an eventuality.
Apple's still going down, but
sure.
glad to be here. But it's your show.
Shout out to Katina.
The light is shining on you, my friend.
Great trade there on Apple. Katina man, shout out to you. Here is the headline as brought to you by Sean. Apple will not roll out AI features in the EU this year due to the DMA regulations, Digital Market Act regulations. Europe always doing the absolute most. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And so there you go. That being reported by Bloomberg. I did actually read an article the other day that said, Apple was sweeping a lot of the issues that it may have in Europe with these DMA regulations under the rug. But keep in mind that the winds of change may have come in Europe. We know that politically. We'll have to see if these regulations hold in effect.
Yeah, shout out to that. Shout out to Sean Strait. And that news I know as well. Apparently, I was reading a report yesterday from, I believe, the Wall Street Journal saying that Apple is in talks with Chinese AI companies as well because they cannot get into China with a U.S.-based company. So they've been in talks with Baidu. That's been a report. Apparently, those talks are still ongoing. That's what the Wall Street Journal was saying.
Oh, crap.
Also, okay, Tesla. Sorry for that face, guys. I'm just so this stock, Tesla. we got to 183.
I like how you said this stock.
Well, yeah, caffeine might be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
feel
sip
you.
that. We get to 183, then we drop back to 182. We drip a little bit low. I say, Adara, Tesla short, get involved. Then I'm like, I don't know, Adara, you don't feel that good about this. You're tired. Take some coffee and take a break. Gone out, lost a cool 3 pennies. Yeah, we did lose a little bit more in Tesla in that breakup into 180, 280. I stand by it. We rejected that level so harshly. I wanted to build the position. It's all good. You know, this is going to be a red week for me. But, you know, like, I'm just going to keep trading the stuff I trade and be cognizant of risk management. If I see something I like, you know, we're going to go after it. But it's all good. It's
Thank you.
market time.
Yeah, sorry. It is time to do the lesson du jour, baby. So let's get right to it. We were talking about level 2 all week this week. Today, we're going to talk about combining the order book level 2, essentially market depth, whatever synonym you want to use, with other technical indicators that we use as our tools. So traders, sharpen those tools, baby. Today, we'll learn how to leverage level 2 market depth, the heartbeat of the market, alongside technical indicators to identify higher probability entry and exit points for, specifically in our case here, small cap stocks with news catalysts. So let's get right to it. So imagine today we're talking about, you know, a scenario rather than talking about just matter of fact points. Imagine a small cap biotech stock company announces a positive clinical trial result. The stock gaps up in the pre-market, as it often does, and you're eyeing a potential long position. You look at the level 2. The level 2 analysis is coupled with volume, and it paints a vivid picture. The level 2 here, you see on the level 2, I should say, a concentrated cluster of buy orders that sit right below the current ask price, right? This high bid volume signifies buying pressure. Why is that important? Let me just kind of take it over here. So if you were to see a cluster of buys on the left side of the book, which is the level 2, why is that important? Well, number one, it's showing you all the different buy orders from market participants. So that in and of itself is bullish, but also it might prevent the price from moving down if sell orders come in, because those buy orders are going to pick up the sell orders. So that's why it's important in that context. So you see concentrated cluster of buyers below the ask, it signifies buying pressure. Then you take a look at the volume bars. What's the volume doing? The breakout from the gap, now it breaks up. It breaks through that key area of technical resistance, and the volume that accompanies that breakout helps confirm that strong buying conviction. So you initially saw the buying conviction on the book, layered in different bid orders at different prices, and then you got confirmation of the buying pressure by the actual breaking of the resistance level check. So how do you use confirmation with technicals in this case? Well, one thing you could definitely look for initially is where the moving average is pointing. And the reason that's important is it helps you gauge the trend if you weren't able to do that already from price analysis. So the stock price in this particular scenario, trading above that 50 moving average, indicating an overall uptrend. And then you look at the RSI. What's the RSI telling you? Because that's the momentum indicator that's often used. While the RSI is sitting comfortably in this scenario below that 70 area, which is the area that we kind of start the overbought area on the RSI. And there it's suggesting to you, because it's below 70, it's suggesting to you that there's more room for the price to continue up without entering that overbought territory on the RSI. So you put another check. So this confluence of signals, the high bid volume on the level 2, the strong breakout volume through the break of key technical resistance, and the supportive technical indicators with the MA pointing up and the price trading above the 50 MA and the RSI being below overbought areas, strengthens the case for a potential long entry near that breakout level. But that's not the only kind of eventuality that you can have with a stock with news in the pre-market. Oftentimes, there are fake outs, sadly. And so you look at that key technical area of resistance and you see everything you need to see, yet the price still declines and you end up getting stopped out for a loser. So spotting the fake out using level 2 and the order book dynamics is quite important. So in this case, let's use a different picture. So another small cap company announces a new product launch. We're not talking about the biotech company anymore, right? The stock jumps at the open, but caution, of course, is your middle name because you want to be able to exercise proper risk management skills. Here's how the level 2 can help you identify a potential fake out. Well, you have a look at the level 2, and the ask price here sits on a very thin layer of offers. So you don't feel that the book is showing you too much in the way of resistance. This lack of selling pressure might suggest the price increase isn't backed by strong resistance. So then you look at the order book dynamics, right? Suddenly, out of nowhere, a large sell order appears just above the current price. This could be, a number of things, but one of the more likely things, it's a whale, it's a big seller testing the waters, or a sign of just overall profit taking by the market. In either case, you don't want to be part of it because you don't have the buying power to overrule or overpower it. So in that case, either flip short or just get out of Dodge. And so how would you confirm that scenario with technicals? Well, one thing you could do, obviously, is to look at the book, as we just explained. The other is to look at the RSI. What's the RSI telling you in this case? The RSI, in the hypothetical scenario that we're making up, shoots towards that overbought zone, which is above 70, as we know, very quickly, which is indicating to you a potential rapid price reversal. Not the only eventuality, but definitely one of those ones you need to be on the lookout for. So this combination of level 2 signals, so the combination of level 2 signals in this case, thin offer volume, large sell order placement, and an overbought RSI reading is suggesting to you the initial price jump might be a short-lived move, right? So you might want to consider waiting for a pullback or avoiding the entry altogether. And some more advanced techniques that you can use for level 2 and order flow. For more experienced traders, advanced tools can unlock even deeper insights into the name that you're looking at. Here's an example. So you have your level 2 up, a stagnant order book. So not much doing. It's not moving like NVIDIA right now, right? With no significant changes despite a steady price increase. This calmness, though, can be deceiving. So you look at the order flow analysis. You look at the time and sales. It's showing you a continuous stream of small buy orders alongside a few large ones, hidden buy orders, though, on the buy side. And this is the kind of the video that we played yesterday is very good for that, because then you see all these orders coming in on the time and sales, but the ask on the level 2 is not advancing. Is sitting at that level. That's your key to the fact that there may be a hidden seller hidden seller at that level. So the seemingly flat level 2 hides the potential buying surge, right? The order flow analysis reveals hidden institutional buying interest, potentially foreshadowing a strong price move, guys. And remember, there's no golden rule for combining level 2 with technical indicators. The key is to understand the interplay between the order book dynamics, volume patterns, and technical indicators to identify the higher probability trading opportunities that are.
Yeah, you want to have that nice, the combination between the two. You want them all married and souped up in a blender. Thank you so much, Sharif, for going over that lesson and preparing that lesson for us. Also, if you want Sharif and Obi and Sean to go over some tickers, there's a way to do that.
Yeah,
you go in the chat right now. You go ] You go join. You go, shift 1, join, space, shift 4, the ticker of your choice. Shout out to Sharif, who was giving us the keyboard keys that time, and I thought it was really funny, so I kept doing things. Also, speaking of the book, NVIDIA, 128.70. What are you doing, bro? When I say bro, I do mean NVIDIA over here. So this has been a wild ride. I tried to short this at the 129 breakdown. NVIDIA's like, yeah, too slow, broke down without me, but then we paused at 128.70. Now, why was that significant? Because look at this area here, that's right, it's 128.70. I was like, okay, cool. Then we broke below it. That's why I tried to go short. We did actually go a little bit lower. By the time I got in, I think NVIDIA was done being a short, so a really small position, risked into 129, lost it. 129 ended up being, though, another area of rejection. And I mean, if we see another instance of flipping from support to resistance here at 128.70, I'll get back in. Very much down in the day, unfortunately, but you know what? Only way to go is up. That's not real. P&L can always go lower. But you want to really commit to yourself and commit to ideas. I think I have been reading the book appropriately on NVIDIA. I just haven't, wasn't able to trade it the best way. But you just got to keep going. I've only really been in 3 names today. Unfortunately, we're out on all of them right now: NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla. But you know what? you have a bad day, as the American Idol song once went, and you just got to keep turning it around. This is not my best week ever, but that means I'm ready to come back next week and fight. And I'm still fighting today. We still got another hour, 20 minutes left.
Oh, yeah.
In trading markets. You know, don't act a certain way. I still have some opportunities. I'm ready to, yeah.
NVIDIA is on the way down, guys. Big rejection here. And a bottom break. We were talking about this area over here being a consolidation, or not a consolidation area top, an area top at this 128, let's say between 2/3 to 129. So 128 and 2/3 to that 129 area. Now breaking down below it. So a bit of a downward channel here on the way, it looks like, into that 128.25. We're a skosh above the 50 exponential on the 5. VWAP is hanging out at that 127.5, give or take. And I'm inclined to use VWAP here as a significant level, or not a significant level, but a relevant level. And the reason I say that is because after the open, I should say, between 9:55 to 10:15, we had umpteen amounts of topping tail candles through VWAP, all of which rejected and all of which had closing prints south of the volume weighted average price. That is, though, until 10:55 when we took VWAP on a closing basis. So I'll be looking here, if we give up the ghost at the 50 exponential on the 5-minute chart, I will be looking for that 127.50 or wherever VWAP is at the time. Right now it's at 127.50. I will be looking for a hold up there for that former area of resistance to flip to support on NVDA. But yeah, very surprised, I got to tell you, in NVIDIA's price action today. I don't know why, I just assumed because of the XLK announcing the reduction of Apple from 20-some-odd% to 4%, and the switching essentially of NVIDIA into the 20-some-odd% category, that there would be prolonged buying, and not just by them, by Spider, but by other market participants, because they were looking to catch that Spider kind of wave kind of thing. So I'm a little surprised. Ghost, show you how much I know about how market dynamics work. So keeping an eye on NVIDIA RAM. We're also keeping an eye on that 20,000 area on the future. The 20,000 area essentially is exactly at the volume weighted average price. I do anticipate an initial bounce off there, but we'll see what we get on the future. Obviously, it's a bit of an upward channel today. You can kind of see that with the NQ June contract. Since the opening bell, it's been higher highs and higher lows. You've been respecting these channels, quite frankly, not touching them every single time, but it does look like a bit of an upward channel today on the NQ June contract. Haven't had eyes on the SPY. We'll have to, I guess maybe leave that for Big Spile Burdette. Shout out to him. TSLA. This is an interesting one too, because there was a gnarly double top off 184, general area of 184, but now it's having trouble with 183, despite the fact that it's been putting in higher lows. So interesting look here. Every time it makes its way into that 183, there does seem to be some selling. However, the other side of that coin is the incremental higher lows and higher highs that has been putting in. So even though you have these two outlying crests, if you were to draw an upper trend, like if I was to copy this and make a parallel trend line with this one, like look at that. Hold on. Create parallel trend line. There we go. We could create a bit of a narrower channel on Tesla. So with the exception of these two outlying events over here that seem really like algo specific, there is a bit of an upward channel right now on Tesla off which we could trade. So an interesting look here on TSLA, as it definitely struggles with that whole $183 level. We'll have to see if that kind of look subsists throughout the entire day. AAPL, as we saw right now, that bit of bad news coming out of Europe. They're going to hold off on their AI release for the remainder of this year, looking to be released next year. We'll have to see if that's the case. Right now, trying to hold above 210. It did dip below 210 ever so briefly into that 209 mid-80s, but was immediately bought up. However, it is now below the volume weighted average price, so I have a bit of a bearish take right now on AAPL, still up 0.33% on the day. The thing that hasn't had a higher high to save its life on the day has been META. All the pops have been shorted, whether at the 10 exponential or the 20 on the 5-minute chart. It's very much close to low a day right now, hanging out at the $0.25 at 494. The low of the day, though, a skosh below that 494, 493.80 Adara. Meta having one hell of a tough day.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, I would even, literally, I think if someone was like, Meta, you will sink, you will leave the next 7 if you don't make a higher high. Meta would not care. Meta would be like, what do you mean? I will continue to go lower. So yeah, no, shout out to Sharif for killing it with that Meta analysis. Meta having a mega rough time. NVIDIA, I took a short here at the 128. Oh, now it look okay, NVIDIA. Now, thanks, bro. I took the 128 short because I was like, oh yeah, it's a whole dollar level. I have my whole dollar level breakdowns. Worked a couple times. I wanted into 50s, which is why I, like, the lowest I've noticed we've gotten is like 88s, basically what we're getting now, and then we come back down. So I wanted to wait, I wanted to be patient. We broke above 128.20s. I did have to leave, so it's all good. Sticking to risk management. I just think, you know, maybe I've gotten feel a little bit roughed around by these markets, but I have no reason, you know, if I still like stuff, to not get involved. And I mean, Tesla, I've been saying all day, for me, the real level on Tesla is not 183, it's 182.80. That has been the level on the book that has just been like truly bizarre. Like the amount of times we've had massive sell-offs off that level has just been insane. Last time I got in the short here, I actually got out at the 182.60s because that was where, you can kind of actually see it here, where Tesla got a little bit funky. So if Tesla can't hold 182.60s, I have no problem shorting it, but I agree with Sharif in that we've generally had a bit of an upward trend line here in Tesla, and look at Tesla trying to reclaim those 182.60s. I don't have a read on this right now. I'm not getting involved. I just know what levels I like. So we're going to be cognizant of that. If Tesla wants to flip from support to resistance on the 90 MA, by all means. AMD, though, kind of getting a bit spicy, trying to bounce off VWAP here. I like the VWAP area in AMD, played around that a little bit earlier. Also, this is a little bit sad. I think the short was the right idea at AMD. I was like 20 pennies off from it. It's all good. You just got to keep working, keep pushing higher. I also, Kyle Burdett says he is here, but in a state coma. Speaking of big SPY Burdett, the SPY actually looking kind of interesting here for my purposes. We're curling lower here. We're getting towards VWAP. Again, these levels, as Sharif said, and I think this is like pretty key, these levels are going to matter less on a chart on the ETFs than price action. But yeah, this one, the SPY, it's breaking below this level. I want to see what we do at 60s. Bounce a little bit. If we want to break lower, though, I will wholeheartedly short you, SPY. Don't even worry about it, okay? I see stuff I like here. This 540, 460 is having a bit of a rough time. We're going to try this small position because I want to, and we're going to risk it into this 66 area. So we're going to risk 10 pennies and make, I would like to see us break below 40s. So I would like to make at least 20 pennies. And as I do that, SPY is like, Adara, as you were humming and hawing, I broke lower and you're not going to get your entry. That's okay, SPY. I'll move on to shorting one of your components, like maybe NVIDIA. It's all good. You just got to keep trying, keep going. I want to, Quantran, I like this comment here. If more info is better, should your charts be shifted to show more price action? I've been actually trading more on the book than price action lately, and I also find the more info I have, the more I tend to get wrapped up in levels that aren't real. So I find for myself, it works for me, but I understand, I respect that. And the thing is, too, like, this has been a bit of a rough week, but I'm happy to say that at least for the month of June so far, this is an outlier. Had a good week last week, had a good week the week before. This week cannot be described as good by anyone. But you know what? You just need to keep pushing, keep going higher. I mean, there's still an hour and a bit left to me trading. So Tesla back to my area I like. NVIDIA doing something. I want not all of the smoke, but I'll take a puff. Take a couple puffs. How are you doing over here?
I'm 10 pennies out of the money, 9 pennies out of the money, depending on when you're looking on, now break even here on NVDA. Look, I got in. I said I'd get in at VWAP, and I'm in at VWAP. So it's going to have to hold up here. Otherwise, I'm going to get stopped out. Simple as that. I'm taking the trade, and we'll see what we get, and we will not get upset. So we're going to say that again, Katina Man? The Katina Man is long with me at 51, so he's got a better price right now, but we're both kind of in the same area, so I hope he prints. Goes without saying there, because it kind of has to do with me printing as well, so can't really go against the Katina Man here, guys. Looking for a nice move up. Let's see what we get here on NVDA. He's cutting it at 127, guys. I got my stop a little. Look, the Katina Man's obviously got a lot more risk and BP than I do, so I'm going to have to cut it a little bit earlier than the Katina Man. He's going to cut it at 127. I'm going to cut it at 127.30. We'll see. Hopefully, it doesn't make it into that level and it holds at the volume weighted average price. It is a counter trend trade, but I did like this level earlier. The VWAP did feature today as a level of resistance earlier on after we broke down below it right after the IB high. So if it features as a level of resistance, it should feature as a level of support. Now we're in the money. We're 20 pennies in the money, Katina man. Shout out to you, my man. Great look there. We'll see if we can get a little bit more on this name. There we go, right into 75s, Katina man. There it is, baby. We're spinning the money there. Shout out to him. Great trade. Good look, Sean.
Yeah, good job to you guys there.
Whoa,
Sean and Sharif. Sean Reef, both trading there.
Sean Reef.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, what we rejected 128 though. So the area I was more interested in was 127.85 because that was an area that was a little bit of rejection earlier. And I mean, hey, NVIDIA, you want to try to flip here? It was support earlier. So yeah, maybe flipping to resistance just a little bit. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good here. I want to take this to 50s. It's going to be a small position. I'm actually not in it yet, though. I appreciate the bang button, but NVIDIA did not actually let me in. NVIDIA, which is a little bit unfortunate. I want to be. Oh, that Cybertruck's a good look too. Honestly, I just want to be.
No, what I meant, like it didn't let me in. Like the
I know
Cybertruck.
that. I forgot about that. The doors. Yeah. So Sharif wanted to look at the Cybertruck, and both times he went 2 different times. They would not let him in.
They don't care about me, Adira. They don't care. Yeah. They do not care. Let's see what the chat is up to on this day. There you go, Sharif. Shout out Donnie Zimbabwe. What's up, my man? Daniel T is displeased with the fact that I'm using the T in often and spitting hawkers live. He says I'm trying too hard. Shout out to Daniel T. I'm sure you are doing great at life as well.
You got to try hard to work hard there. So shout out to Sharif. We're trying hard every single day here.
What's up, Mark? Sharif rocking Kasbah. I don't know what that is.
Rock the Kasbah.
Kasbah?
Oh, it's a song.
How come you know all this stuff that I don't know, Adira? Come on. Shout out to Adira. Meta printed a new low of day. Meta, wow. Yeah, this has been a tough look for Meta lately, guys. All right. So 493.27. Meta? Are you talking about Meta?
I guess I wasn't getting those filled. It was my best stock.
The Katina man says Meta was his best stock yesterday, but he was having trouble with the fills. And Adira and I, Katina man, have been talking about that for quite a while. Adira actually calls it spreada.
I don't trade Meta unless I'm obsessed and the spread is under 20 pennies because I just can't mentally do it anymore.
It's tough. And I've sat there and the bid has crossed by like 10 pennies and you still don't get filled. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it's been characteristic for Meta for a while. Now, even when it was in the 200s and the 100s, it was awfully spready. So Meta can't catch a bid today, Ram, to save its life. It's been down and to the right all day. The deeper retracements, and there's only been 2, have gone into the 20 exponential. Essentially the rest have rejected off the 10 exponential there. So yeah, take your pick as to where you want to get in. Now, Goggles has been the best name in terms of a long on the day. And now, for the first time, we may get an actual touch of the 10 or the 20 exponential, excuse me, on the 5. It comes into that 180 level. I like 180 as a defend here. You have a double top at 179.80. And so, I could say, well, 180 is not the level, Sharif. The level you need to be looking for is 179.80. You have price action resistance from that time earlier, the 2 crests that we put in. Yeah, okay. That is an argument to be made, but it's also only 20 pennies from my entry, so I can realistically give it a bit more room. I'm very interested here on Google at 180, at the 20 exponential. If it does get a bounce here, Google is up 2 1/5 on the day. It's the strongest name, so if I'm going to take something long, it could be on the deeper retracement on the strongest name of the day. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm looking at Google, touch 180. I'm going long if I like what I see.
Yeah, I mean, right now what I've been trying to see, to be clear, still down in the day, still down in NVIDIA, but I've been scraping away this little NVIDIA. I got my short initially. Where's my initial short? I don't even remember where I got short here. Okay. That was that 120. It was 127.80s, which is that area I liked. Took that to 127.60s, and I got back on the short at 127.60s because I liked that that was support. I thought we could break a little bit lower. I said if we make a lower high, I stay. We made a lower high to that 127.75s. I stayed. Could have added, didn't add, maybe should have. That's not the point. We're continuing to have, I think, a little bit of support here at the VWAP, but I got out 20 pennies in the money. Again, really small position. This has not been the day of anyone's, or it's been the day of my, like Sharif's been killing it. I want to shout out to Sharif's trades because those have been awesome. But the thing is, too, what I love about this show and about this community is even when you're not printing, you can, be there for other people. Because today, not printing, but I'm super happy with what everyone else is doing here. Shout out to Sean and Obi killing it on the big desk. Shout out to everybody in the desk killing it. Wait, in the chat killing it. Shout out to people in the back killing it. Of course, shout out to Sharif killing it. Trenda, are you printing today, Trenda?
Trenda's always printing. It's in a perpetual state of print.
Pamp.
I want to read what Elon wrote in the chat there, and I couldn't echo this sentiment more. Sean and Brendo's Freedom and Wealth podcast is so worthy of watching if you want to be a successful trader. Can we hit the hot dog, Candace Katina, man? Thank you very much for that. There you go, Big Spile Burdette. Shout out to you as well, Elon. Thank you for the very kind words on the best podcast on the net. And Big Spile Burdette also told the Katina man the same words. Very worthy of a watch. Guys, the Freedom and Wealth podcast is what it sounds it is. It's going to give you freedom and wealth. No, but seriously, guys, I want to show this real quick over here. If you are not subscribed to this podcast, you need to subscribe. Head over Freedom and Wealth podcast on YouTube. Hit that sub button as I am at the moment. And we've got that one drop. We got the episode 4, dropping tomorrow at 10 a.m. Shout out to the Katina man and Brendo doing the most in a good way.
Yeah, make sure that you vote in the chat because we only have an hour left or 50 minutes left to do that. Go in the chat right now, ! Join, whatever ticker you want. But you know what we're going to do now is we're going to join and see what's going on with Brendan at the big desk here.
Ooh.
The guest.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're happy to have a cybersecurity company and cybersecurity expert with us for the second time, actually. Back on the show, Ian Patterson is the CEO of Plurilock, the symbol PLUR on the TSX Venture Exchange here in Toronto. First of all, it's good to have you, Ian. Welcome back. I hope you're feeling better as well. You're a little under the weather the past few days.
It's good to be back. Hopefully this interview will be hot dog worthy.
Well, we'll find that button somewhere and get you some at the end. Let's start maybe with a bit of a high-level view here. This is a subject that, I feel like we're talking about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, more and more and more often. You hear a headline or see a headline almost once a week, it feels like, of this company was hacked or this company is investigating some sort of data breach. Tell us, first of all, a little bit about the company from a high level. What are we looking at here?
So Plurilock is a cybersecurity solutions provider. We've had tremendous growth over the last couple of years. We just recently put out last year's financials, and we're doing approximately 70 million in top line revenue. That's up from 64 million the year before, 36 million the year before that. And largely, this is driven by the fact that, as you said, companies are getting hacked left, right, and center. And that's true both in the commercial sector as well as in the public sector. Our largest client, if you will, is the U.S. federal government. And in fact, earlier this week, we just announced a $6 million purchase from the U.S. Department of Treasury, but we also include U.S. Department of Defense, U.S. Navy, U.S. Army. On the Canadian side, Canadian Defense, Canadian RCMP, law enforcement, et cetera. So these are the clients. These are the people that we serve. And the reason that our revenue is increasing is that the need for cybersecurity solutions to stave off attacks and to maintain compliance are becoming more and more and more important. And to your point, I think we're almost becoming numb to the amount of news headlines that we see announcing these things.
I had an experience of my own, just going back a couple of weeks here, with a credit card, and my wife and I contacted the credit card company, and they essentially said, we don't know how they're doing this. So it gives you an idea of, and they're essentially, working harder and working faster and staying ahead of some of the security, so much needed in general. Give us, from your point of view here, where is this market at? Why is it, more and more of a problem these days?
It actually is an unbelievable number. The estimates used to be that the cybersecurity market was going to be around $1 trillion. Now the estimates are that it's going to be $2 trillion. So it's actually hard to comprehend. But I think if you ask the question why is there such a demand for cybersecurity capabilities, I would point to two major tailwinds. The first one is that cybersecurity now is a business. And 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you might have heard about identity theft or people skimming a credit card, but you didn't really hear about ransomware gangs. You didn't hear about crypto jacking. You didn't hear about North Korea actually funding a huge chunk of their budget through stealing of Bitcoin and stealing of crypto. Now you do. And so cybersecurity or hacking is a money-making venture for financially motivated groups, which again could be criminal gangs, could be nation states. The second thing is that cybersecurity is also a tool of soft power. So what does that mean? Well, practically speaking, when Russia invaded the Ukraine a couple of years ago, what we saw was that it was preceded by a number of cyber attacks to all of Europe. So European critical infrastructure, especially oil and gas, was hit very hard in the lead up because they were trying to disrupt before an actual physical invasion. And what you don't see behind the scenes is the amount of cybersecurity attacks that governments are perpetrating against other governments. Now, this is commonplace in the cybersecurity industry, but there's all these knock-on effects. And so when you see an individual headline, like again, we'll say North Korea attacking Sony for releasing a movie, what you don't see is the tens, hundreds, or sometimes thousands of other attacks that go unreported. So these are two major drivers for the fact that this is such a large industry. And I think that investors are starting to wake up to this opportunity.
The company had a heavily oversubscribed $5.5 million common equity financing going back a few months ago. Talk us through the strategy here from the management side of things and the board when it comes to that.
So Plurilock, we see that there's just a lot of opportunity ahead of us. We've seen both really good organic growth. We also see a tremendous amount of inorganic growth opportunity. We wanted to take advantage of that, and so to your point, we closed a very heavily oversubscribed round, $5.5 million raised. I think even today, I get pretty regular feedback that we are horrendously undervalued, I think is the term that I've been told a couple times, relative to peers. So Plurilock today trades at a reasonably small market cap relative to the revenue that we have. And if you compare against our peers, we are quite depressed relative to that. So the opportunity that we see is both to go out, keep our clients safe, but there's a tremendous amount of upside that we see that we want to go after, and that's really what the team is motivated to do.
When you look at, I mean, you mentioned to start things off here, 70.1 million fiscal year ending 2023 in revenues. Q1 2024, particularly margin growth, approximately 21.9%. Explain the major factors here, Ian, from your perspective, and what's contributing to that.
So we have a base of hundreds of name brand marquee clients. In cybersecurity, you're typically not able to name who your clients are because you're the people who get called when the worst day of a company's life occurs. But certainly on the government side, we talked about it. On the commercial side, these are largely Fortune 1000 sized organizations, in some cases S&P 500 or Fortune 100 sized organizations. And what we're doing is we're providing a whole set of capabilities. In some cases, we're providing hardware and software. In other cases, though, we're providing very high-end security consulting work. Earlier this spring, we recently formalized the services work that we're doing called the Plurilock Critical Services Team. And that critical services team is actually today focused largely on a subset of our customers in the semiconductor ecosystem. So semiconductors fit all of the same drivers that we've talked about. Bad guys want to get at the intellectual property. Bad guys also want to disrupt factories. So think ransomware. Bad guys also want to steal secrets, etc. So they're really at the center of a tremendous amount of risk from cyber attacks, as well as there's increasing compliance burdens and obligations. So think of the U.S. CHIPS Act, having to nearshore, reshore things, supply chains. There's just a lot of complexity there. Because there's that both risk and complexity, these companies need help. And Plurilock, to date, has been able to do a really good job of helping those companies. That has created some notoriety. And so we're seeing revenue growth in the services component that has been continuing in the last couple of years, and we see an opportunity to continue that. And so the impact to our financials is gross margin improvement or gross profit improvement. And so that's a key focus for us for this year.
As we see, as we mentioned at the start here, more and more of these headlines on a daily basis, weekly basis almost. Where's the opportunity specifically for the retail side of things here on the investment, not only for the company specifically, but maybe for the industry as a whole?
Well, what's really interesting is that cybersecurity is an industry where there are really big names. So think Palo Alto Networks, think CrowdStrike, think Palantir. These are great large cap names that are pretty well known. The challenge is a traditional retail investor typically does not have access to the growth names. And so there's very few publicly traded growth names in cybersecurity at the micro cap or small cap level. And so there's been quite a disparity between what venture capitalists have access to in terms of being able to fund the next CrowdStrike versus what a retail investor is able to do, because there's not as much opportunity. There are not as many names to be able to invest in. That was part of the reason why we opted to take Plurilock public at such an early stage, is because we saw that there weren't that many opportunities, and it provides the average retail investor some opportunity to participate in an earlier stage growth name. So that's just kind of one of the dynamics of cybersecurity that exists today.
If we look ahead now, maybe through the remainder of this year into 2025, is there one or two things we can leave investors with as far as what the company has coming up in the near future here?
Well, we're very focused on signing up new clients as well as satisfying our current clients. So I think today's or this week's, announcement of the $6 million sale to the U.S. Treasury, that is exactly the type of thing that our team is focused on, and investors should absolutely be looking out for.
Appreciate the time as always. Ian Patterson, CEO of Plurilock, again, PLUR here on the TSX Venture Exchange here in Toronto. Good to see you, Ian. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you to Ian and Brendo. There's solid information from Ian Patterson, CEO of Plurilock. Yeah, Dara and I were talking off camera about the importance of cybersecurity, the Katina Man and I as well. Very interesting. I didn't know all this about the crypto theft. That was kind of news to me a little bit there.
I had no idea that was like a thing. I mean, I need to learn more about that space. But yeah, shout out to Plurilock there and Ian Patterson and Brendan for that awesome informative interview there.
There are some triangles there, Dara. Anything you want to update us on? Because that's a profitable trade.
This was a profitable trade. I did lose on, but this was such a small little scintilla of shares. I'm not going to, cry over them. This ended up being a net profitable trade. So I got short here at VWAP. I've been obsessed with this 182.40 on Tesla for a while. I said if we break above 182.60, we get out. That's why I left with the remainder of this trade. Though Tesla, if you go back to 182.40, I'm getting back in. Just be aware of that. But yeah, I got out more than half of this, 2/3 at 182.19. Wanted to get the rest out at 182, but it bounced too quickly for me to be able to profit. C'est la vie. It happened. I want to shout out, we have 2 super chats here. Thank you so much to Donnie Zimbabwe for the $9.99 super chat. And Dara, I attribute my success in my options trading to being as optimistic as I possibly can while staying disciplined and learning to take an L. So I applaud you, my sister. This skill makes money. Thank you so much, Donnie Zimbabwe, for the very kind words. I really appreciate it. And honestly, I always want to be an optimistic presence, because the thing is, trading I know can be really isolating. I'm lucky enough that I've only ever traded here in this force, so I've always had the benefit of the community, but I understand a lot of us don't have this that opportunity. So I just really am always grateful. I really appreciate, and I'm grateful for the super chat. And thank you so much for your support. We also have a super chat from Big Kyle Burdett.
Yes, or as you call him, Big Spile Burdett. I love this. Again, Kyle, shout out to you, my man. I super chat and donate memberships because this channel and peers are giving us real-time, everyday examples of how to change our lives, get serious, do the work, take the risks, and find true freedom and wealth. CNBC, who? Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett, man. Always doing the absolute most in a great way. Thank you very much, Kyle. And I already sent that off to the Katina Man and Brendo, obviously, because they're going to want to see what you have to say about the Freedom and Wealth podcast. All right, guys, a couple of things here. I've got 2 trades possibly going on. I may be getting long goggles here. Another 180, basically not rejection. That's not what I meant. a retracement into that 180. It seems to be hugging the 20 exponential on the 5. It's the strongest name in Mag 7 world on the day, being up 2.16 right now. It was definitely up 2 1/5 just a second ago. So I'm looking possibly getting long here. The other one, look at this, Meta touching the 10 exponential again on the 5 and not able to break through it. Last time around, we did get a 20-period exponential on a few green candle retracement. So I don't want to be too quick to jump into this at the 10 exponential. Let's maybe wait for that 494.50 or thereabouts on META. It's been a short the kind of day on Meta, a long kind of day on Google, and the other ones have been a little bit here and there in between. I guess Microsoft's a long kind of day as well. By the way, I want to mention another interesting trade here, possibly for those who are interested, at 448.5 on Softy. Now, this 448.5 presented itself as a resistance level earlier from 10 to about 1020. It came into, effect, or it was important again between 11:05 until the eventual breakout 11:35. Now that we've cleared it, we're coming back and we're using 448.5 as a level of support there. So that's another possible opportunity for anybody who's looking for a trade on the Mag 7 names. 180 defend on Google, 10 or 20 exponential retracement rejection on Meta, and a 448.5 dip trade for a previous area resistance, now support on Microsoft.
Yeah, we're going to get to that lesson soon because I can't believe it's already 1:15. But I just want to address, the Tesla. I tried to get back into Tesla at 182.40. Tesla said no and dropped lower. I was not able to get in. We'll see if we bounce at 182. I'm still interested. Like I said, I've been watching the book and tape on this all day, so I have levels I like on it. Right now, though, I'm pleased as punch to say I am short NVIDIA, and we are intermittently, sometimes, in the money slightly. And I say sometimes because you know how NVIDIA be. We were, I want to see these break below 40s. That was certainly an area of interest. The reason I got short here around VWAP, which I know is kind of a decision, is because I watched this 127.80. We got there before I could punch short. It dropped like 20 pennies. I said, hey, I think there's some kind of rejection here. If we get back above 80s, whatever, I'll leave. That's fine. But I believe in this short. I believe in this calculation. I should have probably scalped out earlier, but there I was looking at Tesla, so that's my bad. We'll see here. I'm like 10 pennies out of the money. This is a small position. Again, just trying to practice the confidence, or whatever here on these here markets, because I'm just really trying every single day to climb higher and get better. We just need a lower high though, 127.70s. How are you doing? What are you?
I just got into goggles.
Yes.
Right now, I'm putting my stop. Look, I'm not going to give this that much room. This is a 180 hold. So we're at 179.95. So we'll go 179 and we'll give it 5 penny spread there. It's going to have to hold. This is a trade based on 180, based on the 20 exponential. If it doesn't hold, it's not right. So it's as simple as that. We're already 6 pennies out of the money on that trade. I'm also looking to go short Meta at these levels here. So let's look. We are getting a 494 rejection, which is where the 10 exponential is on the 5. So I don't want to chase Meta. I hate Meta at these levels because it always makes me chase it because it's so spready, unless I'm sitting there with a resting order. So I'm going to, okay, so we're short. So I'm going to have to put now 494. We'll go 05s and we'll cover at 15. So, all right, so we'll see what we get here on both these trades. We're short 70s, so we're already out of the money on Meta just because it's so spready. So it's going to have to reject this 494 area, or otherwise I'm going to get stopped out. We're 11 pennies out of the money. Let's see here. Goggles, we're 2 pennies, 1 penny out of the money here. We're going to have to wait and see exactly what we get on both these trades. I like both of them at the levels, but they're going to have to manifest up into 494. Again, we go here on Meta. Not too much size blocking that move up on 494. So, Google just broke. So I just got stopped out of Google. Google broke 180 aggressively there on the way down. So that's it. I'm not taking that 180 trade again. It's going to have to actually reject that level. It didn't. So I'm out of Google. That's my first L on the day. So we'll see if we can not get any more L's right now.
That's awesome. You're having a great day, Sharif. Shout out to you.
Well, watch. That'll change real quick. It did last week. It did last week. I was having a good day last week, and then I ended up wanting to break the screen. So, yeah, that's just kind of the way trading is. I told you many flip-flops, many shoes, many objects were thrown, Adara, in the build-up to my trading career. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again. What are you looking at?
That's why I like to stay positive, right? Because I feel like it can be really easy to have a slipper throwing moment. NVIDIA broke below 40s like I wanted, but NVIDIA did not give me profit like I wanted. So that's kind of annoying. But hey, NVIDIA, you're like 2 pennies away.
Hey.
I think that might be the first chair pushback of the day, maybe. Yeah, please this punch. Took like 20 pennies there, so gonna be breezy, easy, something cover girl. I don't know. I'm happy with that. Tesla back to that 182. I think with this flat bottom breaks, it will do so with a viciousness, but I'm not going to be there for that, unfortunately, because we're going to get to the lesson. Oh yeah, Tesla just broke that 182. There we go. Well, I didn't miss anything because I wouldn't have taken it anyway because I was just yapping. So there we go. Let's talk about Tesla here at that 180, so we're going to talk about our lesson. Before we do that, shout out to Fabian. Thank you very much for giving us a little bit of a sneak peek here of the week ahead, which you can check out on Sunday at, I believe, at 9:30. Here you go. I love this image of Jerome Powell with pulling Jensen Huang's strings. Shout out to this amazing, shout out to Fabian Ramin for killing it every single day. I love this. I love this. Jerome Powell's Puppet Master, little visual so much. We're going to talk about some earnings. We're going to talk about NVIDIA having its shareholder meeting next week. So shout out to Fabian Ramin for this awesome thumbnail for putting together these videos. I love that. I really love that image. So there we go. Let's talk about our lesson, though, of the day, which is going to be about level 2. And if I can figure out how to use a computer, there we go. So we're going to be sharpening our tools. We're learning about how to leverage level 2 market depth, which is the heartbeat of the market, in tandem with technical indicators in order to identify high probability entry and exit points for small cap stocks with news catalysts. So it's a bit more of a specific lesson today, which is always fun. Let's talk about unveiling the breakout with level 2 and volume. So imagine you've got a small tech biotech company and they're announcing a positive clinical trial result, and the stock will gap up pre-market, and you're eyeing a nice potential long position. Level 2 analysis at words, Adara, and volume can work together to paint a vivid picture. You've got your level 2, which you've got your concentrated cluster of buy orders sitting right below the current ask price, and this high bid will indicate buying pressure. And then your volume, you've got that breakout from the gap, accompanied by a surge in volume, which can confirm some buying conviction. We always talk about how important conviction is over here. So let's talk about confirmation with technicals. So you have your moving averages. For example, you've got your stock price trading above its 50-day moving average, which indicates an overall uptrend, but the RSI is sitting comfortably below 70, which, as we know, is like that going to be that over territory. Suggesting there's room for further price increase without indicating entering, overbought territory. So this confluence of signals, this confirmation.
I thought you were waiting for me to hit the bank because you said confluence.
No, just had a little bit of a nap. Okay. So you've got your high bid volume on level 2, your strong breakout volume, and your supportive technical indicators. This will all strengthen the case for a potential long entry near the breakout level. But how do you spot a fake out? Because we know fake outs are there in the water and you want to be aware of them. Oh, yeah. So let's say you go to a different small cap company. Who knows about that biotech? Well, you know, small caps are in one year out the other. So here, let's say we got a new one. Another small cap company is going to be announcing a new product launch. And so the stock price jumps at the open. But caution's always going to be your middle name. So use level 2 to help you identify your potential fake out. Let's say in level 2, you have the ask price sitting on a thin little layer of offers, like a thin sheet of ice. Shout out to Bambi. And the lack of selling pressure might suggest the price increase is not backed by that strong resistance. What about order book dynamics? So you're going to look at those, and you suddenly have a big old sell order appearing just above the current price. And that could be a whale testing the waters, just trying to push its head up there, or a sign of profit taking. But how do you confirm with technicals? We like technical indicators and confirmation over here on this show. So relative strength index, your RSI, let's say you have that shooting up with the viciousness towards the overbought zone above 70 very, very quickly, which can indicate a potential rapid price reversal. The combination of level 2 signals, so you've got your thin offer volume, large sell order placement, and an overbought RSI reading can suggest the price jump might be a short-lived move, and you might want to consider waiting for a pullback or avoid entry altogether. What about advanced techniques, okay? Let's talk about level 2 and order flow. Go with the cash flow. Cash flow. So for more experienced traders, you can use some advanced tools to unlock even deeper insight. So here's one example. Level 2, let's say you've got like this stagnant order book with no significant changes, just waffling around there. But you do have a steady price increase, so this can be deceptive. A calm before the storm. 1320 Wolf was asking what happens when you see those ones in the book. That's when you have usually an iceberg, like when you see all the ones. That's you have someone hiding how big their size actually is.
Yeah, that, yes.
Yeah.
And also I noticed one on Apple, Adair. I think it's a liquidity algo that's testing different liquidities at different price levels to see who's going to react to it. That's my understanding. That's what some of the traders on the floor. Oh, have you seen some of the liquidity algos that run on Apple that print one share, one share, one share on the tape? Yeah. Yeah. So Ob's like, there's a lot of speculation as to what that, algo specifically is doing. It happens a lot on a lot of names. It's not exclusive to Apple, but generally it's kind of accepted that it's looking for liquidity.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jerry, for going over that. What about advanced techniques? In addition to level 2, let's say you have your order flow analysis, and then you do see, as we just discussed there, a continuous stream of small buy orders alongside a few large hidden buy orders, like icebergs on the side. So that can be give you some deeper insight there. So, yeah, that's the last slide. Yeah, but basically, you're seemingly flat. Sorry, guys. Level 2 can hide a potential buying surge. And the order flow analysis can reveal some hidden institutional buying, but remember, there's no golden rule for combining level 2 with technicals. And so you want to really understand the interaction between order book dynamics, volume patterns, and technical indicators to identify these higher probability trading opportunities. But you know what is the golden rule is a democratic system on Trader TV Live. And you know how you vote for tickers you want? You go right there.
Bang.
You go in the chat. You go ! Join. You go space. You go $, whatever ticker you want. Tesla, Amazon.
Microsoft, AMC, Meta, there you go.
Google, Apple, you guys know what tickers are. You put those in the chat.
Yeah, have your say.
And then
okay.
you can have your say.
It is against algorithms and probability of options, says John. Shout out to you, John. Thank you for shedding some light on that. Glenn Smith says that algo is very common on Tesla. I have to agree. To be honest with you, I have seen it on Tesla. I don't really see it on goggles right now because I've got the tape and the book up on Google because I was looking for a hold at 180. We didn't get it. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that algo and what those one prints mean in the future. Let me see if I can find them right now. Yeah, here they come. It's always interesting. 1 second, guys. Yeah, Ope says, it's always very interesting when you watch that algo get turned on, then turn back off. It's always at seemingly very interesting places. Thank you for that observation, Obe. Not one that I made. I don't see it on Apple right now, Ram. As I watch the tape on AAPL, we're not seeing that umpteen amount of 1. Sometimes you see them, you can see them, and they're all on D. That means dark pool. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. With respect to Apple, there does seem to be an area bottom of sorts after that EU Digital Markets Act news came out that basically put the kibosh on Apple releasing AI tools in Europe this year. We got that big dump. That's what this candle over here at 1230 is. But as you can see, the low there, basically 209, high 80s, with the majority of the closing prints just south of that 210. These two candles are outliers. Most of them were above 210. These now have opened and closed south of 210. So we're above it right now. Let's see if I take a long on Apple here, it can be a pretty tight stop through the break of mid-80s. It's just we're not getting that real parabolic nature. I think it behooves me to take this trade just based on the possible entry that I can get here at even 210s. So I'm going to go ahead with this trade, and I'm going to put my stop at 209.82. 209.82, there we go, and we're already down a little bit here. 209, and we'll put like 78, give it 4 pennies worth of room on that bad boy. So it's going to have to hold 10 generally that 210 area. Otherwise, we want no smoke. And the first beak wetter, let's put a reasonable and exit up here in the mid-teens. We'll see what we get there. The other Mag 7 names, let's go over those a little bit. I got stopped out of Meta on the short. I flipped long, and I was able to make it almost everything that I lost super quick on this into 494. I was able to get like 493.40s, and I was able to quickly take it out almost into 494. But this is what's kind of getting my attention right now on Meta. So this consolidation area that we're doing, we did it a little bit over here, and then we continued down. So I don't want to say, you know, the winds of change are coming on Meta or anything like that, because it's done it before and it continued down. But there is a bit of consolidation here south of 494 with some wicks breaking through it to the north side. We'll have to wait and see what we can get there. So Apple defending 210 for now, but for how long really is the question. Gorev, Google at a key level, question mark. Old resistance today turns to support upon confirmation. That could be, Gorev. I like what you're thinking here, Raymond, because this area here at 179.80, I was very interested in. I didn't actually want to take 180. I wanted 179.80. But look what happened, Gorev. I mean, it broke that level quite decidedly, so you could make the argument that really the level was 50, owing to these closing prints over here and the top wick over here. I didn't have eyes on that. I thought it was 80, and so when it came to 80 and didn't hold up, I'm like, nah, I'm not going 0 for 2 on goggles. Thanks, but no thanks. So unless this one really proves itself here, maybe with another couple of green candles on the 5, I'm going to let this one kind of just hang out and chill and do its thing 21, because I don't want any smoke from that. All right, let's take a print there on Apple. Nice. Let's let this one run up a little bit, Adair.
Yeah, thank you for saying do your thing 21. I always love when that is said. NVIDIA, I see that you are making higher lows in the book. However, you're also still below the 127. I think this could break up higher, go against me, but I have no reason to leave right now. I will feel a lot better. I'm trying to get out a little bit more than half this position. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I didn't have enough. I wanted to get out. I wanted to just de-risk there at that 126.82s. We're having some weird support, at least on the book, from what I'm seeing, at 126.80s. We'll get there. We'll come back. My area for this is it's just my risk area. If we get above that 126, 127.20s, that's where things get really dicey. I'm just going to be watching what we do in the book. Every time we've cracked above that 127, we have sold off with a viciousness. So, we're going to have to wait and see here. I just want us to stay below that 127 decisively. I have no plans to add to this position. And for profit taking, I would love to see us crack decisively below 126.80. I mean, NVIDIA, you can choose not to do that. That's fine. I'll get out of you. No, you know what I mean? No problem there. No skin off some skin off my back, but mostly none. But yeah, I mean, you know what, Adara, you're feeling kind of shady about this. Maybe you should just leave here. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to just leave here. And as I do that, NVIDIA climbs another few cents. Okay, NVIDIA, that's fine. Just, do what you need to do, 21, but preferably if you'd like to, be a little bit more respectful of me, that's okay. It's a stock. It doesn't care about my feelings. It's fine. But let's take a look here at Tesla, because I've been watching this level for a while, this 180, 150. I think this could be a long, but I don't have a read. I'm just going to be watching the book, but I want to be fully extricated and safely out of NVIDIA before I do that here. NVIDIA, another break here with this 127. You know what, we're just going to get out here at 127. We're a couple pennies out of the money on that, but generally profitable on the position as a whole. Let's take a look at this Tesla here, because I think this could be a short. I initially felt good about the short, and then I didn't take it because I was like, Adara, what if you're wrong? The thing is, you could maybe be wrong about any trade. That's just factually how trading works, right?
Yeah.
Right now I have enough confidence for that short. And the thing is, you need to have conviction, as I have in my little notes to myself every morning. Conviction isn't just a law and order show. It's an important aspect of trading. And so you do have to, shout out to one of the worst Law and Order spinoffs, Conviction. And it only lasted one season. It's bad.
I believe
But thank you. I know my Law and Order. But yeah, so you basically, that point aside, I wanted to have this conviction in this Tesla. Now that I've noticed how long we've kind of had this restla at this 180, 140s, I want that. I'm going to risk here into this 180, 160s. It's going to be pretty tight. But I really just want to take the opportunity because I do believe in this trade. And I think that it's giving me more and more confluence. It's just sitting here doing nothing. It's not really support. Support actually here would be at 181. And I mean, hey, Tesla, I'll leave you by 181. That's not a problem, okay? But let's see what we do here. What are you looking at?
I just wet my beak on Apple on some profits. We were almost like 20 pennies in the money. It popped up into that 20 penny area, but it does seem like it's quite anemic at these levels. I'm just going to hold it here for the break. Oh, here. Well, that may not last that long. Because I was going to say the break of 210, and then it came right into 210 there. So topping tail candle on Apple right now off a rejection on the 10 exponential on the 5. But, you know, I'm just gonna let this one chill for a second. Let's see here. Right back above. So, you know, I don't want to be paper handing this trade. There's clearly a buyer below 210. I'm just going to have to be patient with this one. If it goes, it goes. I've already de-risked with a nice little winner there for 20 pennies, but I'd like a little bit more. I'm just unsure what to do here. This has been a long time level on the day, essentially since 12:30. We've been holding this 210 level since that bad news came out of Europe. This was also an interesting area in the morning. We were wicking into it. We're holding off these levels. So I don't want to get out of it. I feel like I have a good price. However, I have to be cognizant of the negative catalyst of the higher lows as well. So a couple of things not really working in my favor. The thing that is working in my favor is that you have that general 210 hold. But I feel like every time we ascend on Apple, we're met with a wall of sellers. So I think that today is not Apple's day. And even though this 210 level is a good looker, it may end up being a bit of trouble here with a flat bottom break. We already saw the flat bottom break come in fast and furious on Meta today at 496.5. Apple definitely not spared from that kind of eventuality as well. As the future breaks down below 20,000 into 19.9.5. So it looks like the market here headed to the downside. That up channel that we were yapping about during the midday, that's Gonzino. Now we're breaking down. Now we have to look at key technical price action support. What I'd submit to you is that this area right where we are right now could be price action support if given the trough that we put in earlier on around 4:30 this morning, 3:30 Central Standard Time. Why do I mention that? Well, because the future trades in Chicago and they are on Central Time. So it's what it is there. Meta, another 10 exponential rejection and on the way back down, looking to test 493 yet again. It's broken on the day. It hasn't broken, though, below 492.39, but it looks as if we're getting another red candle forming off 10-period exponential rejections. It's been a tough day for Meta, 1 3/4 to the south side. Goggles, happy I didn't get into that at 179.50. It's still showing its intention to break down below that level. And the reason I say that is because we still have lower lows and lower highs. What's up, Obi? What were you saying at WoW about? Quadunk on the market, into 50s we go. Adara just pushed her chair back. What's going on?
Pardon? Oh, thank you. I took a short in AMD. I shorted it off. So instead of like waffling over that Tesla, which I mean, that would have been fine, but I was just like, Adara, you spent too much time obsessing over that, over that name. Took the short in AMD because I saw on my side chart, look at AMD just resting, sitting all pretty here on VWAP, below the 90 EMA, lower highs, lower lows. I said, we'll risk it into 161.20s, basically where we had that little topping tail candle. We didn't actually need to. I think the highest I got while I was in it was like, I got involved 160.99. I think it got to 161.03. I was like, you know, AMD, if you don't want to go up, that works too. But yeah, so I got out. Initially, I wanted to get this first part out around 66s, but AMD was like kind of struggling with 160.80s. I said, Adara, you're going to feel weird if you don't de-risk here. So I did. Took out 20 pennies in the money, got the rest out, about 45 pennies in the money. Pleased as punch there. But you know, AMD, if you want to like crack lower, I have no issue getting back in. I am qualmless. I am qualm-free. I have no qualms. I just really like saying
She is qualm. Without qualm.
Oh yeah, so what news out of Europe, says Mark Lasky? Basically what happened with Apple, what happened with Apple is that there were some issues with their AI. They're not gonna allow, their digital markets group was not going to let Apple roll out its AI this year.
No.
According to the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, and it was actually reported by Bloomberg first, now Wall Street Journal getting in on the action here. Apple said it likely won't roll out AI features to millions of customers in Europe this year due to concerns over the EU's technology industry regulations, The EU's Digital Market Act, often called the DMA, enacted far-reaching restrictions on big tech companies and digital competition. One requirement was for interoperability, meaning developing software that could work across operating systems and hardware, making it easier for customers to move their data or switch providers. I just love when governments interfere in business. They don't create anomalies of any kind. It is always sound judgment. Love it. I absolutely love it. I can't tell you how much I like it. I like this Apple trade though, and there's 20 pennies right there. Very happy with 25 pennies actually right there. So I like this 210 defend on AAPL as it moves into the 10 exponential Adair.
Yeah, I could not be happier for you for that trade. Also, yeah, I think this shows sometimes you can't get married to something. This Tesla is about 15 pennies down from that level that I was into, so I'm really happy I took the AMD instead. You have to have your eyes open for all opportunities. I've only traded 3 stocks today, and I actually think maybe I should have diversified my view a little bit more, but I really wanted to trade stocks that move in a way I'm comfortable trading, which is going to be Tesla, NVIDIA, and AMD. I mean, honestly, like I said, happy with a lot of the learning that's happened this week. Not, we would like to be more profitable, but that's what next week's for, right? That's what the future's for. You got to take these cuts so you can try to push forward. But you know what else we're going to be doing, pushing forward? You only have 12 minutes left to vote. Oh. So you should vote. You should go in the market right now. Not the market. Wow. Chat, not the market. Go in the chat right now.
Yeah.
And you should vote. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you want. Tesla, NVIDIA.
Yeah, it was a short one. Sorry, because we have the long and the short. I hate the short that Let's go to the mall. Like what? Like that show? Like Robin Sparkles from How I Met Your Mother. Ramin said, let's go to the mall. So yeah, let's go to the mall. Yeah, okay, Parallel's written that. Let's go to the mall. Let's go to the markets. Let's go in the chat right now and vote for your tickers. Pitchbull says you should try Tesla long now. Ooh. I don't disagree with you. We're seeing a little bit of a bounce here. I just don't have enough confluence in it yet. I would like to see us get off 180, 140 because that's the level I notice here chopping and turning. If I see something around 180, 140, I could be tempted. Right now, though, I think Tesla is a little bit kind of taking a rest. It needs to get that supercharger right now. I think it's just kind of ho-humming a little bit. I am more interested in AMD, which is hanging out around that 160.60 level, around where I left the short, and the NVIDIA, which is bouncing quite beautifully right now. I'm more interested in NVIDIA and AMD right now, but I see what you mean here, Pitchbull. Tesla could get a little bit interesting here. I got long on Amazon. I'm looking, I see a bottoming tail candle, inverse hammer candle coming in. It came in hot, it came in fast and furious. I got long 60s. I've got my beak wetter up at 70s for the first one to de-risk a little bit. But yeah, this is gonna have to hold these areas. I've got my out through the break of 50. Here comes 69s. I'm seeing 67s. A bit of selling coming in here. Well, the market's kind of red, to be honest with you. So yeah, this was a bit of a, I don't want to call it a gamble, but I liked what I saw there on AMZN. Let me show you guys what I see here on the 5. You make a big move down, almost right into break even, 186.10, then a gnarly inverse hammer candle comes in. I've got my out through the break of 50. I don't think that that's right. I think I should give it to at least like mid 40s because this has a higher low. Looks like I'm going to get stopped out right now if it moves down below 50. Yeah. Dang it. I think I should really give this one a bit more room. Let's see what we get here. Let's see if we get another move up. If we're back into the 50s here. So I'm going to try to pack my patience unless I got stopped out. I like this hammer candle. I like a possible curl up here on Amazon. It was very weak, essentially, the entire afternoon. And then we get the gnarly hammer candle, bottoming tail, and then another candle to make a newer high. I got stopped out. Dang it. And then right back above it goes. No. All right, all good. You got to get... We'll look to get back in here if it holds the pattern. I don't need to be first. So I took a bit of an L on that, and that's okay, but I don't need to be first, and here's why. So if this actually is going to curl and is going to do a rounded bottom, shout out to Big Caliber Debt and the NOS boss, right? If it's actually going to do a rounded bottom, I don't need to be first because I've got plenty of room from where it's going to start rounding into like whatever, 187.50, which is where VWAP is. You can make that maybe your first profit taker. So that's if it does it. Good thing I got out where I did, because look, it's continuing to go down. So maybe I should learn here not to put too much stock into one candle. I did like that level. In fact, I actually wanted to get it off 186.50, and good thing I didn't, because those were the support levels earlier on, and then right back down it goes. So it looks as if we're going to sell off here on some of these Mag 7 names, at least on Meta and Amazon. Meta, obviously the weakest name on the day, but Amazon was distinctly positive. It had a triple top at 188.30, And then it's all the way down to 186.30 now. So we'll see if this one can get its footing under it. But it does look like a very weak afternoon for the markets. 18 minutes left on the show before we send you to the big kahunas. And I want to talk about this Google look over here. What a hold at the 50 exponential here on Google, because we were looking for these dip trades umpteen amount of times, and I couldn't get the right level on Google. It seems as if it was the 50 period all along, not a price action level. There's really no support and resistance at this 179.25. So you have to assume really it was just based on the 50 exponential. At least that's what I think. So we'll see. We'll keep eyes here on goggles. We didn't look at any small cap gappers the last little while. It looks as if the ones that are still in play is just one, ICU. It's the one that's still above the volume weighted average price, hanging out above 70. The range per candle has been quite wide at times, so bamboozlement has been real. But I think if you bought anything off VWAP in the afternoon and you had a decent spread between your entry and your stop, you did well. Definitely some trouble with $7 here. You can see this has been a rinse and repeat type of short, even though you on this candle you got into 750. But look where the closing print is, 684. So $7, an elusive target on a closing print. ICU looks like a decent one here. Unsure how this resolves. I think maybe you could zigs and zags a little bit before if it breaks out, even if it breaks out. I'd look maybe to get it off VWAP 6 1/3, 660 in and around that area would look like a decent area to me. Amazon all the way back down to the bottom end of that hammer candle here. Tough look for Zon. Happy I stopped out where I did, because I would have been displeased with that trade had I held it there.
But sure, the real question is, are you saying I see you to ICU? Or are you just like,
I see
yeah, are you
you.
saying I see you?
So you punch out of your weight class. We've already established that.
Yeah, I guess.
We have. Do you know about like a chat app called ICQ?
No, I don't know about ICQ, unfortunately.
Yes, we got it, Dara, finally.
What's the ICQ?
I'm so petty.
I know.
I'm so petty.
You are.
ICQ was like, have you ever heard of MSN?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
so
MSN,
before MSN,
Okay.
there was ICQ.
Really?
And when you got a message, you'd go, uh-oh, uh-oh.
That's like something out of a horror movie.
It was terrifying.
I don't like
Yeah, who knows what I'm talking about in the chat? You
I
guys
don't
must
like
know
this.
about
Uh-oh.
ICQ. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
I
was
say
intense.
uh-oh to ICQ. Like,
Oh. Patty, BPI, back me up. You know ICQ. He knows it, man. He knows. BPI knows what's
just
good.
why do they say uh-oh? That creeps me out.
I don't know why. But yeah, because you have to look real quick, Adair. It's got to get your attention. Otherwise, you may not look.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the uh-oh thing.
The little flower logo. Pitchbull knows the green little flower. Yes.
Oh my God.
Shout out to you guys. ICQ was the OG chat back in the day. And then you could like put an alert, like if you had like a crush or whatever and she came online, you could like, it would go, user is online. And then you'd rush to the computer. So you go talk to your crush, you know what I mean? It's all good there, no big deal.
Hilarious.
Yo, it was high school days. What do you want?
I love that. Yeah, I had to say uh-oh to AMD because I was risking into 160.60. We got into 160.60. I left. If we bounce here, I have no qualm going long. I have no problems. I need to stop you saying qualm, but I really like that word. I tried to go okay, AMD, you can't tell me you're going to keep rejecting at 160.60 now, though. Because that's where I got it. Okay, whatever. AMD, do your thing, 21. It's fine. I'm not that bitter. Emphasis on that. I tried to go long Tesla because as the rest of the market went down, Tesla was going higher. We broke below that 180, 120, so I had to get out there. We're going to have to see. I still think, shout out to Pitchbull saying Tesla could be curling higher. I think maybe, but it doesn't have as much oomph in it on like the book or here, just what I'm seeing as I would have necessarily wanted. So that AMD long, if we keep bouncing off 160.60s, that could be actually interesting to me, but I don't want to rush into it. Actually, you know what? That AMD long is actually looking really spicy, so that could be the spice I want. Right now, though, this NVIDIA, just this bounce here off of, there's a level. It's 130, no, that's not 136, that's 126. This 126 bounce has been gorgeous. I was trying to play this around here, like either direction, 126. I would like to see what we do here into 126.30s because that was a little bit interesting earlier. So 31s, we're going to be getting out 2/3 of this here position. I don't know if NVIDIA is going to give me what I want. I think we could be pushing higher, but if you see something you like, you do have to take that opportunity. We're below the 90 MA.
95 and 98 too.
He knows what windows he won. That's way too old, says Refrain confidently.
Okay, did you see the chat though? They backed me up.
They did.
There was a lot of people chiming about ICQ in the chat.
They knew
so
it. Oh.
there was no IT security back in the day.
Oh.
There was no IT security back in the day. You could scan someone's IP, find out. Oh, let's just those were the good days. No, maybe version here. I see rounded bottom coming in. I don't have a good price on this, sadly, but I like this look here. I think that this is going to rounded bottom. I just want a better price, but I'm also softy here, coming back into that 449. You know, let's call it a resistance zone because we kept wicking off it into the morning, but it really is here. Apple and Facebook, or sorry. Apple and I can get it together. Microsoft that are really doing the bigger moves right now. Microsoft just got off 448 into almost 449, while Apple, you know, definitely held that 210. Should have been holding my position for a little bit longer. Into the $0.50. Apple now at the volume weighted average price. Last time we were here, we bounced off it. That is until we got that Europe EU news about the AI lagging in its release, so we'll see what we get there. What's going on?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what's going on is I flipped here from NVIDIA. I took the short. I think I needed that a little bit. So pleased as punch with that trade. That's, you know, this type of stuff I need to be doing, trusting what I see in the book. Because I got out of the short because of what I saw in the book and then trading.
Wow.
So a lot, but yeah, lots of fun. And I think we learned a lot and I'm excited for Monday. Any weekend plans?
Yes, a lot. So I've got the baptism tomorrow. Then I'm going to a day party. I'm not going to mention which one. Initiation of the Copa America. And guess who was playing? Argentina, obviously. So I was very proud of Canada yesterday. Oh, Canada. And I'm sure they're going to do a little bit better when the competition, you know, definitely the only ones above the volume weighted average price right now are Microsoft and Google. It's been a tougher day for the Mag 7 Adair.
Yeah, NVIDIA like violently rejected its 90 MA, but it wouldn't let me in along for the vibing here. NVIDIA though, wow, this 126.40. I think if we give this up, this is going to be, yeah.